Like, what an odd decision to make. I really can't comprehend.
Game, I didn't want a cutscene. I wanted to plant vegetables with Junpei.
With Jinbei?
Oh no, this is gonna be a long cutscene. God damn.
Also, Mason, you caught up on One Piece?
Fucking
Yeah.
ship happening right now.
Shit's
Hold on.
happening, bro.
I mean, no, I did not read the chapter from today.
Okay. Listen, I just love people that are like, it's the Usopp arc.
Hold on, let me read this.
I mean, everybody thought it. Right now, it's fucking nobody's arc because half the cast doesn't exist.
Well,
Half the cast doesn't exist right now, John. We haven't seen half the crew in 5 chapters.
that's not a long time.
Yeah, but for like what's going on,
No, it's fine. They'll be there eventually.
I don't think there's any standout character whose arc this is yet out of the Straw Hats.
We have weird connections.
Yeah,
Simulator.
we sure do. If it's anybody's arc, it's Sir Ya's arc.
Yeah.
My boy Sir
Fucking
Ya.
love Yasan. Yasan is the GOAT, bro.
You ever just drop a cap from a pop bottle and then can't find it?
No, that's just drop
Yes,
round
but also
object
no.
onto floor. It has now disappeared into another room in the house somehow.
Me dropping one of my dice out of each of my dice collections somewhere and never finding it again.
Yeah, vaguely round object impacts floor. Teleports.
So how
They
guys?
learned Misty Step.
So hi guys, how are you?
I'm good.
Hi,
I'm good. Vibe.
I'm alive.
My mother has
Finished Expedition 33.
my mother has told me to have fun. She is playing dice.
Shout out to Sean's mom, based.
They're in Georgia right now.
Oh. And I remember you guys are not in Georgia usually.
Yes. In fact, I'm a fair amount away from it.
Yeah,
No, you guys are like
one
next
could
door.
say.
You guys are like basically next door.
I mean,
I think I'm closer to you than I am to Georgia.
yeah.
Or it's, like,
oh, I thought you
pretty
meant
close.
I thought you meant me. I'm like, no shit, Michael.
No.
Oh shit, Michael!
I'm
I can
like-
walk to your house.
I'm like, you are closer.
No, we're not that-
I would not do that. I mean, he could if we'd just
I
take him
could.
the
It
whole
would just-
day.
it would take me 2 days.
I don't think it'd take you 2.
It's pretty far. It's like almost an hour bike. The issue is also the road to get to your house is closed.
No.
Bro,
'Cause the-
fucking roads are stupid.
Imagine living in PA where nothing fucking works.
This will kind of pinpoint my location. It's pretty close to my location, but it's fine. Yeah,
Please don't
one of the
dox
major
yourself, Michael.
highways by my house, like 2 months ago, a major part of it collapsed. They still don't know how to fix it because there's
Oh.
like
American
miles
infrastructure.
and miles of abandoned it's like abandoned mines there from like 500 years ago or whatever.
Yep.
Just collapsed from like they think a like minor earthquake that happened like a year ago. So like
God, I hate when
slowly,
things
all of a
just, like,
sudden,
wreck.
highway just went.
It's a good
I
thing
hate
I'm
when
not.
all the buildings nearby just suddenly collapse.
It's a good thing I'm not trying to get us together to hang out or anything. Thank God everything we do is online.
True.
Let me think of anything I need to talk about. The same things as always are based.
True.
Um,
Lemon's been getting spicy.
it certainly is.
It's taking its time for once, which for
I
this has been, like, one of the
appreciate it
longest-
slowing down for this. It's nice.
I do too. It's been one of the longest arcs I've ever seen in this manga so far, and it has been like because of how fast-paced the manga moves. It's felt like we've been in this arc forever.
Yeah,
It's only been like 5 chapters.
big old backstory arc, all of it.
We gotta go back.
Yeah, really trying to pinpoint if there's anything that stood out. I don't think so. I'm reading. I think I mentioned this. I mentioned I had started these, but or I was gonna start these, but I don't think I actually talked about any of it because the stuff with manga decks. But there were a couple that I could salvage of things that I had wanted to read that I could actually get away with. And the two right now are Parallel World Pharmacy and Black Summoner. I really like Parallel World Pharmacy. I still like it compared to when I watched it when it got adapted. I've hit the point on manga decks where it has like an odd three chapter gap. Thankfully, it's still stuff I had saw. What's fun is that Parallel World Pharmacy is a light novel. So it's light novel first, I believe manga then anime. But it doesn't really matter because it's all adapting the light novel. I think the anime chose not to adapt, I would say, 2 arcs, and the manga chose not to adapt one of those. Based off my memory, it's been a long time. I have to go double check. If I'm right that the anime skipped the 1 arc, though, it's really weird because it introduces the main character's brother. Which is a really fun character to just not introduce. I'd have to double check because his stuff could all be done in 1 episode, and what he segues into is really important, but I just don't remember him being a thing in the show. Because he segues into the Black Death, which is pretty important for that manga. It's like the big climax of the first season is the Black Death. Yeah, I like that manga a fair amount. Black Summoner is still really cool. I enjoy a lot of what it does. I did not realize its art's bad. Hold on. Let me see if I can...
Explain?
Yeah. So I was like, maybe it will get better, was a thought I had. And to be fair, I'm still, like, not caught up. I am officially past where the anime stops. Its pacing in the manga feels equally weird. And there are, again, some things I just don't remember, very well. And that's crazy because one of them's an entire character who is really important, and I just don't remember her design being what it is. So maybe they changed it. I might have to go back to these. Where on earth? Here it is. God, I have, like, so much of Black Summoner left. Not even halfway through what's out that I have available. I'm trying to think what'll be a good panel to show this off. God, yeah, these are pretty good. This will be a good example of it. And what I mean by its art's not good is I mean, like, its characters are very... It's kind of insane. Where's a good shot? I mean, that's... Oh, I'm trying to get a good wide group shot, and most of the good wide group shots just don't give the characters faces. Oh, this is just a pretty good whole panel. But again, this is fantasy slop. Black Summoner is pure fantasy slop, and as such, it doesn't matter as long as I enjoy the content. Let me pass these to you guys so you can see what I'm talking about.
Oh.
I really wasn't ready for this. At some point, I just block it out, and I'm just reading. And I'm not paying as much attention. Here's a full... It's the characters. Everything else is actually pretty nice, and I don't really have an issue with, like, the backgrounds and any of, like, the action itself. But boy, oh boy, are these how to draw anime-ass characters. Let me quick see how the anime... I mean, the anime certainly does just make them look very generic. I think it makes them look better. No, she does exist. I just really did forget. Wow, that arc does happen. I just really did forget. No, okay, Black Summoner's pretty on point. Black Summoner actually has some pretty good animation. From what I am seeing. Let me see if this saved. It didn't. Cool. It's fine. But yeah, outside of that, I'm not doing much else. I don't have a lot else to talk about. Because it won't let me save the image. Here's a shot of three of the females from the show. And immediately, two of them are in that bottom panel. It's just they're, it's a pretty far away shot. That looks significantly better. That's not bad animation for those characters. Like the art's pretty clean on those comparatively face-wise. But it's still slop that I enjoy. And it does cool rad things that I think are really neat. It uses because it's one of the isekais where the character has like a status screen and everybody has a status screen. It's like part of the world that they have a status screen. It's just like an accepted thing. And the manga's I really like that the manga just, when it introduces you to a character for the first time, it just inserts a stat screen page for you. Where it just shows you them and gives you all the relevant information that the main character would get, like appraising them. And like by using his skill. So it's really
I do
cool
like
because
when
you
shows
just
do that.
yeah.
So you actually get like an idea of like what these characters specialize
Yeah.
in, like what their, I guess, abilities are and stuff, and like
Like
why
I
you
want
should
to
care about them.
I want to say Land of Leodale did a really good job with that.
I think
From the bit I
one.
remembered. But what are you guys up to?
Sure. Go ahead, Mason.
I mean, mine's pretty short. I've been playing RuneScape. I'm now 50 out of 83 chapters through Witch Hat Atelier.
Fire.
I've heard of it.
So the funny thing about that manga is everyone on the internet says it's so cute and so wholesome. And they're lying.
Yeah, I was gonna say I was under the understanding that a lot of people are pretty vocal that that's not the case with it. Actually,
it looks cute and it pulls you in, and then it gets really fucked.
And then it goes
fast.
Step.
I can't begin to describe how good this manga is. It is the best hard fantasy I've ever read. Just genuinely wonderful, and also does a good job of like addressing issues in its manga that happen in real life, and like, hey, it does a good job of just like addressing it and going, hey, here's how we like address it in magic, but also like,
yep,
this is a problem, deal with it, please. Aside from that, really not much happened. I've been reading more of the year one new Ultimate verse for Marvel. That's been fun. Turns out the new Ultimate X-Men comics are literally just manga.
Nice.
Yeah. Drawn by Peach Momoko and written by Peach Momoko. So they're good. That's pretty much all I have, honestly. John, sorry for cutting you off. What did you
You're
have?
good. I do it to you all the time, so it's only fair. I was just saying, I finished Expedition 33 last week, I think, and then I started a new playthrough because you got to see both endings. Like, come on, I'm curious now. But I did look up the broken builds because those are really funny, and there's one where you just kind of gun, and it's really silly. But that game's really fun. I started prep for NAIC, which is not this weekend coming up, but the next weekend after. So I likely will have to move podcasts next week, but not like Sunday coming up, but the following Sunday, so in 2 weeks.
Okay.
I'll be 29 next weekend. That's fun. I'm old.
Fire.
Hell yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
ancient. So yeah, started prep on NAIC. Have some kind of ideas floating around that have been doing okay so far. So we'll see how that kind of develops. I get to click the splash button is the plan. I'm just gonna click the funny spout move, and either it will kill things or it will not kill things, and that'll be the result. And then trying to get that prepped and stuff like that. So I have to talk with some people, get some mons, because I don't have all the restricteds I need for it. Because I don't own sword and shield. So yeah, that's been pretty good. But other than that, not much. Just kind of been working, trying to get on my schedule. Finally gonna go see a Tigers game for the first time this year, next week or this weekend.
Oh, yeah?
Which is fun. We're going to one next Sunday. When they play the Cubs, because my fiance's family is from Chicago originally, so we go watch those games usually. But yeah, looking forward to that. I think that's kind of it.
I haven't been still in the middle of a Persona 3 cutscene.
That's
I
what
have
Michael.
nothing-
That's what Michael's been doing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've been playing. That's
He's actually been in
90%
this
of what I've been doing.
cutscene since last week.
It,
In a
Hey,
way.
this isn't Metal Gear Solid.
In a way.
yeah, it's not quite that bad. But yeah, see, I haven't done a whole much outside of played a lot of Persona 3. I did get to play a little bit of Splitgate 2. Yeah, that game
I need to play it.
really fun shooter. If you liked Splitgate 1, you probably won't like Splitgate 2. They are two very different games. Splitgate 1 played like Halo 3 with a portal gun. This game plays like Titanfall 2, but like also sometimes you can shoot portals, I guess. There's much less portal surfaces and they feel much less important. Like you definitely can do crazy traversal things with them, but Splitgate 1 is a very slow game where you sped up by being able to by like understanding map layouts and portaling between them. This game you're fucking sprinting with a jetpack.
Hell
Fucking throwing
yeah.
stun grenade. This game's crazy.
Jetpack is pog.
But yeah, outside of you, I'm playing a lot of Persona 3. I ended last week. Okay, so last week at podcast, I was in the middle of September game wise. I was at like mid-September. Yeah, I am now at the start of December.
Bro, it's June.
Yeah. Yeah, start of December. I was like, okay, I'm gonna do this nighttime interaction. Then I'm gonna go to day, and I'm gonna save, and we're gonna be good. I hit December 2nd. I am still in a cutscene. I'm still in a segment where I have not been allowed to stop looking at dialogue, which sucks because I have to talk about first show.
You do.
Yeah, you do.
That's fine. I'll let the game run off on the side, and then I'll finish play. I'll finish the section after we finish talking about Umamusume.
Don't worry, Michael. I'll give you a little bit more time. Quick.
Okay, we'll see.
We did D&D.
Sean will tell a D&D story.
Yeah,
We got about
that's
half
exactly
an hour, guys. We're
exactly what I was
good. We're
gonna
good.
do.
We got like half an hour.
So fun thing, Dylan has his friend of the podcast. Dylan has his honeymoon in 2 weeks. And so he's gonna be missing D&D, which means we're not playing D&D. And the reason for that is because we or DM Painless dropped in or server for the next campaign he's running for his groups, that he's gonna use those 2 weeks to do character flesh out stuff for anybody who hasn't yet. Because our campaign has 5 sessions left. He said before last week's session. So now we're supposed to have 4 left, to which I immediately responded to him in chat and went, "Are you sure about that?" Because we are the group that extended our campaign by at least 4 sessions while in Barovia alone. And he was like, "That was just Barovia, it's fine." He's like, "You guys will finish Avernus tonight." We did not finish Avernus on Thursday night. I did my portion of the maze, which is great because we walked into the maze, went into one room, walked out of that room, immediately found the exit. I immediately rolled a nat 20 and found us the exit to this maze, which did us no good. Because we had to go get the shit from the maze we were in there to get. So we do that, we get enough shit to leave, and we go, well, now we gotta find the exit again. And I go, I'm just gonna try. I went to Panos, I went, is there any way since I found it before that it's easier to find it again? And he went, no, that's not how it works. I went, fine, I just rolled another nat 20. I just simply did it again. We then progressed. Well, Dylan then had to win at a card game. He had to win. He was supposed to win 10 hands, and he was supposed to win 10 hands before just going completely broke in gambling. We got to 5, and Painless said, that's enough or we're gonna be here all night. Because he overestimated how long Dice Game would take. And so we progressed downwards to the next area we're supposed to be in Avernus, to where my character's father is there, because he is a fiend, and my character was once a tiefling. It's complicated. And my character has his character moment with that, and then our fighter launches us into combat because he fucking can't do anything besides swing his sword, and that is his only option forward. He knows no other means. So immediately
True to
after...
his class.
Yeah, immediately after having a very important and very impactful conversation between my character and his father, that essentially involved my father going, hey, I'm gonna give you this information that's really important, and with it, you'll be able to defeat the boss that's here. If you don't defeat the boss, however, my soul will be lost to all time. Have fun, thank you, son. So instead of the party getting a chance to regroup with that information, or fight a win, what if I just swung my sword at 2 pit fiends? So we are immediately in combat, which I am not happy about. But while we are in combat, we are in, like, a bar setting. There is a horn devil in the corner of the bar. And I walk away from my computer to use the bathroom, and so I still have stream open. And our fighter is like, well, we could probably start beating up that horn devil too while we're at it. And our DM goes, you don't know if they're in the fight or not. They haven't done anything hostile yet. And our fighter goes, I bet you he is. And Painless goes, well, it's a she actually. How dare you? Her name is Edith. And I'm in the bathroom listening to this on my phone, and I just typed to Painless, you motherfucker. And he goes, Sean, what? And I go, Painless, that's my character's mother's name. As he's accidentally named an NPC fiend after my character's mother unintentionally, when part of his whole thing is his father is secretly a fiend that he is hiding from the rest of the world. I went, Payless, you better not be doing this to me right fucking now while I am not at my desk. And he goes, no, that was completely unintentional. I'm so sorry.
Whoops, anyways.
Yeah, whoops. Anyways, moving on. Didn't happen. Pretend you didn't hear that. Michael, I'm sure you're still in your cutscene.
Absolutely.
But it's okay, because there's one more thing we gotta do before that. That's right, baby. It's power ranking
yeah.
time. We here at the podcast are gonna talk about...
Power ranking.
We're gonna talk about our 8 remaining shows.
There is 8 still.
There are 8
That's
shows.
not a power ranking, that's an anime.
I was about to not send you the power ranking. I was about to send you the title card for the episode. Whoops. I have explaining to do, I guess, but we'll worry about that when we talk about shows. So there are gonna be spoilers. We've watched up to episode 6 of our shows. I have thoughts this week.
Let's
Clearly.
go! It's my time!
Yo, let's go.
This might be... This probably happened before, but very rare that we have a show at 1 and a show at the bottom. At this point in the podcast. I know why Michael's is there, because he brought it up. We'll talk about it when we get there. If it's not apparent, I subconsciously noticed it, Michael. It wasn't enough to deter me. We'll talk about why Witch Watch is where it is, though, for me when we get there. And in the same way, we'll talk about To Be Hero. Because I understand that is a far drop placement for it. And I have decent thoughts about that as well. So we'll
I get it. I just don't feel like dropping the show that much.
I agree, but I have an opinion about it this week that is very important. That justifies why this is here. Essentially, if you remember why I didn't have Once Upon a Witch's Death as high last week, it's very similar to that, but reverse. But Michael, let's get into a show that all of us have actual agreement about.
God, Umamusume this week. God, good ass episode. We'll get into
Show's
that.
peak.
So, it's peak.
That's good.
It's peak.
Peak is a bold claim.
I also agree with John. I don't know if I would give it that title, but I do like it.
Not. So.
Michael, do you think this show holds a candle to Haikyuu?
Again, that's a different kind of thing.
Yeah,
Sean,
yeah,
listen,
Haikyuu's peak.
Look, I just be saying
Sean, if
shit.
we're going
Haikyuu's
by
peak.
my specific example, every show that isn't Medalist is terrible.
That's not true.
So-
Haikyuu's really good too. And there's Blue Box. There are great sports shows out there. that I would call peak. I'm just making a point, you know? Peak's a strong word. We only use it for things we read that are actually not peak but feel like it, like Ultimate Exorcist, Kiyoshi.
Like Jujutsu Kaisen. What?
Umamusume.
Anyway, Umamusume. We kind of pick up like right where last episode leaves off. It's like them having the conversation. Kitahara Joe and Oguri, him going, if you win, you're gonna go to nationals. If you lose, you stay here in regionals and you can do the Tokai Derby. And she's like, that's not fucking fair. You're the worst. Rightfully has a fucking crash out. Cause yeah, that's a fucking rude ass thing to put upon her. As both of them go to depressive slumps out of this. Cause like she feels bad because she wants to run the Tokai Derby. That's where all of her that her rival's gonna be running there. That was her thing. This is her trainer, that was her whole thing. And Joe's like, I know this is good for her, but God, does it fucking suck that it is. As he's sitting there trying to push like, because like realistically, he doesn't want her to win this race. He wants her to stay here and go to regionals, but he also wants her to go to nationals. So he has this whole so he's saying that this is the most down I've ever seen a man in an anime like ever. Like holy shit, this man, he's sad. It comes to race day. The ground's wet because it rained the day before. This doesn't end up mattering that
Nope.
much.
Not at all.
Which is funny that it
What am I
doesn't
saying?
matter at all.
At all.
Like, it almost looks like they're gonna do like a few things with it, and then they go, nah, it's just like the race is a little longer now because they have to avoid the inside because that's like the extra wet location.
Which
Also
I
'cause
guess
it's, like, the last race.
I guess technically that is important because it drags out the race to get to a certain point.
Yeah. Yeah. So we're doing all our the race starts. And Oguri's doing fine. She's doing the race. And then Joe's uncle is like, you're the fucking worst, you know that? And he goes, you're not even gonna like look at your racer as she's racing. Kitara Joe lifts his head up and we see Oguri is fucking miserable. She is absolutely not in it right now. And he's like,
Still in third place, by the way.
well, yeah.
Dude, she's just fucking running it down in third place.
Yeah. Again, for Oguri, third place.
Yes.
Is dog shit.
No, it is dog shit, yeah.
Earlier in this episode, Rudolph like calls Joe and she's like, that's kind of a fucking rude thing you did to put her in this predicament, but like I completely disagree with it, but if it works, I guess. But you're kind of an ass. But Joe's like, no, this isn't my place to fucking push my ideals onto her. If she's gonna race, I want her to do the best she can in racing. He runs through the crowd, follows the because as you have to do, because the ground is wet, there's a lot of people. And he's like, okay, you just gotta win this race. And she's like, bet. And then fucking cooks them. Holy shit.
Okay,
He's like, oh, you're allowed. Now she will try. And she cooks their ass. Like it's like final quarter of the race goes from being in third place to like 3 full lengths ahead. Absolutely nonsense.
Now she will
Cooks
try,
them
bro.
head. Cooks
that.
their asses.
Oh.
And then we have a nice little talk between. We see her performance, or little idol performance. It's about the same as the last time we saw it.
I think it's the same choreography and everything.
Yeah, I think it's supposed to be. She's like a little bit more into it, but like,
Well, she doesn't
still
need,
very much
she
like,
doesn't have to have Norn mirroring.
Yeah,
She can do it on her own now.
yeah. Again, she's still. I can't wait for the show's like episode 12 nonsense idol performance, but like we'll get to that when we get to that one. Yeah, she did a little performance, and then people in the crowd are like, "Woo, Oguri, let's go!" And they're like, "So are you gonna leave to go to national?" And she's like, "Ah, shit," because the rumor had been spreading around that upon winning this race, she would be moving to nationals. She goes, "Yeah, I'm gonna go to nationals," and Joe's like, "Yep, she's gonna be. She's kind of like our hometown hero. It's called root for her when she moves up to nationals into the Twinkle series," and it's like, "Woo, let's go!" And then we have a little moment between the two of them after this, where Joe's like, "Yeah, you go do your stuff in nationals, but don't worry, I'll be there too. I'm training to get my nationals training license. I'm like, let's go, dude.
Why didn't he just do that to begin with and not
It-
make a big deal out of it?
I mean, the issue is that he absolutely couldn't do it in time for this, for the thing
sure,
Rudolph was
but,
asking.
like, he made it act like he like couldn't do it at all, and I'm like,
Yeah, but
that's a
again, that's
little
also the whole thing
anticlimactic.
is
He's like,
that
actually, I'm just gonna follow you anyways, and I'm like, that could have been a conversation. Like we
I
could,
mean, the
we
big
didn't have
thing,
to have depression.
I mean, the big thing that pushes that is that he doesn't think he's good enough. He thinks he got lucky
Yeah.
picking her. He doesn't think
Yeah.
he thinks she's a better racer than he is coach. He doesn't think he deserves to be the coach for someone like her. That's the whole
Yeah.
thing she put. She's like,
Of course,
you
and
are
like-
my coach. I wouldn't be here if you weren't my coach. And he's like, fuck it, I do want to be your coach. I'm gonna go for it. Also, Balno's gonna be following her. She like aced the entrance exam for whatever like technical schools around there for the people who like make horseshoes and shit. or
Belno
whatever.
ran like one race and said, "You know what? I'm
She's like,
out."
I actually don't want to race.
Actually,
You know what?
actually,
Nah,
hate
running?
running.
Fuck that, actually.
Running. I'll be an engineer.
Bro tried track one time and went, "Nope." Second thought, we're going back to school.
But yeah,
Good
this episode is fucking phenomenal. When he like gets over there and like the music like quiets down for a second and you hear him yell, "Oguri, just run!" I was crying. I was
And then
fucking losing it. This episode fucking got me. It was so good. I fucking adore these characters. This episode's great.
I'm real. For me, it wasn't that deep. I thought it was fine. I
Yeah,
thought
it's
it's
just-
more.
you're just not into the horse girls.
You know, I can say confidently, I am not into horse girls. You know, I'll die on that hill. But
John
You're
Nuggets
lost.
was 4-H as a kid.
You're lost.
you're lost. Honestly, fair enough.
More for
But,
us.
Yeah, like I said, this episode's fine. I feel like this is very much like it felt like this actually was a non-issue kind of solution, if that makes sense. Where it's like, oh, we could have just like talked it out and like been like, hey, maybe I'll just go push to better my career instead of just crying about it, basically. And be like, I'm gonna give you an ultimatum that actually in the end doesn't matter because I'm gonna tell you to run anyways. I get it, but at the same time, it is a little bit like disappointing to like watch, at least in my opinion, in that way. But it's still good. The action's still really good. The characters are adorable. Ogre is still the goat, but I just feel like it could have been like handled a little bit better in terms of like the overarching like plot of this like arc.
So I think like the odd thing is for sure about this is that like it does like it sucks. Everybody thinks it sucks except for Joe. Like even the people who won her in nationals are like, this is a bad call, don't do it. And like the idea that you have to get your head around for this episode is that the outcome doesn't matter for Ogre. Like it's never like realistically, she's always going to nationals. Like there is no other outcome here, and us as the viewers just have to deal with that. Like the lesson that is learned from here, like the two things you really are supposed to take away is Ogre is just that good that it shouldn't even be a conversation
Bro,
at
the
this
fact that
point.
she like went from like
Yeah,
third place to like jogging to be like, I guess I'll win, and then just fucking just
and
runs
her
past
lead's insane.
them. Went by like 5 legs.
And like the other idea here is supposed to be Joe as a trainer, you're supposed to always stick by your athlete, right? And like that's the thing.
Regardless.
Even if it means that you are going away from them or giving them up, you are supposed to do everything in your power to get them in the spot they're supposed to be as their coach. That's what you owe them. And so like because it's a double-edged sword here where it's like, okay, you've done it. You've now put her in this spot. You have to actually still be her coach
See it through,
while she
yeah.
finishes it out. And like, so I agree. There are parts of this episode that I don't feel great about. Like that I think are kind of like they hurt itself in a way. But overall, I like where the episode winds up, and I think the show is consistently still really good. Shoutouts to the biggest loser this week on this show's episode, which is March. Holy shit.
Dude, she got fucking
Dude.
smoked.
March
She's like,
gets
Not-
fucking
not
you're
only
gonna
that-
fucking
decimated.
race me, and
Not
I'm
only
gonna
that-
win. And she's locked the fuck
Just
in,
like-
and she gets fucking blitzed.
But like, imagine it. You show up to an event, and in the lead up to it, like this is like your time to show her that you're gonna be real competition at the Tokai Derby. And then not only in the lead up do you find out that like if she wins this race, she's not going to the Tokai Derby. She's not gonna keep your promise
The
as a
Tokaido is
rival.
so far beneath her that she's just going
Yeah.
to the next stage instead.
She's not gonna
Mhm.
keep your promise as a rival. That like none of your interactions really fucking mean anything. You go face to face with her and bring it up to her, like confront her about that, and she doesn't.
And goes,
She doesn't
I
deny
don't
it.
care.
Yeah, like she's like, wait, in Oguri's favor, she's got bigger things to fucking worry about. Like it's not, none of this is her fault either. But like, it's and then you lose, and then you fucking lose, and there's nothing you can do about it, and it becomes really realistic that she's just in a completely other bracket, and then all you can do is just be like, I'm still gonna go win the Tokai Derby,
Well,
and just.
better luck next time.
She doesn't even say I will catch up to you in nationals. She says you can go have your career in nationals. My career will last longer than you in the long. She's like, I'm playing the long con. I think
Actually,
she's like
actually,
your
I'm still in my
leg
training
disease.
arc. I'm working on it.
She's like your leg disease might come back to get you and cut your career short. I'm be healthy and fine. I'm not
Actually,
taking
you're
any
genetically
shortcuts.
disposed to lose. Actually, eventually your legs will give out. Trust me. Copium.
And then
Like,
shout outs to the biggest winner this week, Norn, for getting her plushie. Fucking
bro,
baller.
it was so
Also,
cute.
Yo,
Yeah.
are they
Can we talk
selling these?
about
Where
that?
can I find that?
Right.
It was so
like
cute.
Ogre's been there for all of like 3 months maybe, and they already have merch of her.
Yeah.
It's wild.
Well, she's like the biggest star this like small towns ever produced. To be fair.
True.
I just adore Norn as a character of her just absolutely falling head over heels for Ogre and being like, yes,
It's so good.
this is my girl. She's gonna do
This is my
fine.
Kami Oshi.
And then she's just holding the shot of just her holding the plush and her friends going, yeah, if she wins this, she's leaving the regionals. And Norn goes, what? And it just zooms in on her just squeezing the plush to death. It's adorable. Fucking wonderful.
So fucking cute.
And
So
you have
great.
and you have fucking Minnie at the end, who's like, everyone's like, we're gonna miss you, Ogre, and she's like, I'm gonna miss fucking bullying you, Loser.
Right.
loser.
Loser.
And her friend's like, what the fuck, bro?
Bro, she's like
Calm
oh, regional
down.
hell.
It's the little things that I really liked in this show. It feels crazy to do this show structure like this, where so quickly we're pivoting to like the next stage, but
Yeah.
it makes sense, right? It's horse girl racing. Like we don't need to spend a season in
It's also, like,
regionals.
one season
It's-
horse
Yeah,
It's
it's one
wild. We're
season
just-
horse girl racing.
We're
Baby.
just it's wild we're just transferring to another school. That's
Yeah.
all we're doing. It's like,
It
okay,
quite-
here's a new bracket of schools.
It quite literally would be like if in like a regular sports show, it'd be like, yeah, we're starting the season and you've already been scouted for like the under 13. We're just gonna go follow you at that for the rest of the season. It's like that's crazy.
What about that one soccer? What about Awashi?
Yeah.
Right?
Which again,
Mason-
advertisement. If you watch Awashi, go do that. It's really good.
I'll find a way to read it again.
Someday.
I believe.
Mason,
I
do you have
don't.
additional thoughts?
No, I mean you guys kind of pretty well covered it. The show is just like the animation's sick. I really enjoy the characters. I'm very excited to see what the new cast we're gonna get is gonna be like, because very clearly we're gonna get a whole new cast of characters aside from Ogre. And maybe Belno.
And that one
Yeah.
character with the 2 stripes behind her that said she's gonna
Yeah.
beat everybody.
Mhm.
Definitely not gonna be relevant in this
Yeah.
next arc. Nope, totally not.
No, definitely not.
The one
No
that
way.
whenever I look at her, all I can think of is Gargura.
Yeah, I definitely don't already know we get a
Fuck,
new
you're
version of
right.
the opening next episode, and that she's in it instead of March in that
Yeah.
one civic section where March shows up.
Bro, March
I
Sucks.
definitely don't. I definitely don't already know that. We didn't see
March
that 2 weeks ago when
actually
that opening first came out.
fucking sucks.
That's so funny. Nah,
Like,
show's really
March.
good.
No,
I
we don't
really
need March
enjoy it.
anymore.
March, as in the third, as in not good enough to move on.
For real.
March isn't more like March.
Why is her name? Why is her name not January? Huh?
Not good enough for the goat month, right, Michael? Let's go.
True.
Hey, Mason.
Hey, Sean.
Vigilantes.
So it's Vigilantes.
Yeah.
So Vigilantes starts off with we start off with these Yakuza that are in this bar talking about how they're gonna run this town. They get back to their office and all of them get just absolutely fucking murked by Stendhal. He is still Stendhal.
Nice save. Nice save.
And turns out Stendhal is working with Hachisuka, and basically she's just sending him after villains that she's kind of worked with or are getting in her way. And he knows that she is a villain and is like, yeah, I'm gonna kill you at some point. She's like, yeah, whatever, but like we're working together right now, it's fine. Meanwhile, excuse me, Koichi is like leaving from when they met with the guy that attacked him and Pop Step.
Shark boy.
Hedgehog boy.
Yes, but he kind of also looks like a shark sometimes.
Yeah. And basically is like, yeah, man, I'm not gonna hang out with you. Like, I don't think you're good, like a good guy. He ends up getting kind of cornered by Hachisuka, and she tells him, hey, so Stendhal is killing a bunch of people. He's gonna come after you. It's gonna be bad. Here's some more trigger to keep you safe. And he's like,
drugs.
Want some drugs? And he's like, no, fuck you. I'm not doing that again. I don't want to. Also, sorry, before this, the like lizard friend of his that was that flew during their stint on Trigger, he's in the hospital, and as he's getting out, they're talking about like how none of them really want to do it again because it's just way too much for them, and they just like they want to keep a normal low profile life. So I don't remember his name. Definitely not Bakugo. But with Wolverine claws, because he does that this episode. Ends up like getting cornered by a Chisuka, handed off some trigger, and he goes, nope, not doing that. Smashes it on the ground. And Chisuka goes, oops, bad decision, and sends Stendhal after it. And then after kind of fending Stendhal off for a bit, she sends her own like bees and forcefully injects him with the drug. And it's at this point that he transforms, and then Koichi shows up. Koichi sees that he's transforming and goes, yep, nope, I was right. He's definitely a villain. He hasn't changed. And he's kind of going crazy from the drug. Stendhal starts starting to murder him. Koichi goes, I can't let that happen, actually. Nope, don't like that, and tries to get him away. And Stendhal almost kills him. And then at this point, Knuckle Duster ends up showing up, saves them, and goes, all right, Stendhal, I'm gonna throw this like whip down. Don't step over this line. You step over this line, I'm gonna have to hit you. He goes, all right, well, I can definitely I can beat him to the punch before he can do it. Like, I can kill Knuckle Duster before Knuckle Duster hits me. Knuckle Duster just steps over the line and beats the ever-loving shit out of him. And then they get away. And then we see the fucked part of this episode, which is Stendhal gets home and goes, okay, so Knuckle Duster told me I am not able to do anything because I have the mask on. And if as soon as I remove the mask, I'm like, I have no confidence and I can't do anything. How do I fix that? Clearly, cut my own nose off. That's the perfect plan. So he does that, and at this point is no longer Stendhal. This is when he becomes Sting. Who we see in regular My Hero. This episode is fucking wild, and fight scene's great. It's very interesting for the actual furthering movement of the plot. I just really enjoyed this episode this week. I thought it was sick.
I'm gonna get mine out first, quick. I did watch this episode as I was waking up this morning, and perhaps that has negatively dulled my opinion of it. I will be open, honest, and fair about that. My general walkaway though from it, how I felt after watching it, was that while I don't have any issues with the episode, I didn't like feeling very away and detached from our main cast and not really having a lot of the moments with them, because that's what I've come to really like out of the show. So while it moved the plot along, I didn't particularly care. Was kind of how I felt. Now again, I also might not have been fully all in because my awareness of what I was watching might have been dulled from being sleepy. It's quite possible. So I will be open. This show ain't going anywhere. That is certainly it's a two factor in that regard. Was my walk away from it, and perhaps you are more interested in this if you care a little more about Stain. I also just I didn't personally find anything he was doing like super fucked. I mean, cutting your own nose off is crazy, but
Yeah.
me.
Me.
I don't have an issue with the show though.
Yeah, I remember coming out of this episode being like, yeah, that was more Vigilantes. I was like, cool. Again, I fucking love the Knuckle Duster bit. I love
It is
how
a
he
good
goes,
bit. It is a
and when
really good
Archie
bit.
goes,
Here's
dude,
the
you
line.
set up the rule and he crossed the line. It's like, yeah, when he crossed the line.
I never said I couldn't
I
cross
never,
the line.
what does that have to do with me? I was like, that's fire.
It's such a good bit.
This is some Batman bullshit. Batman would do this.
Also, are bees not like the most horrifying power ever?
Yes.
Like, how the fuck do you deal with this ever?
Still not
Like-
sure about the whole whether the bees are hers or she's the bees. It is.
Yeah.
Yeah, because he certainly does throw
Yeah.
a knife into her bee eye.
And she just goes, "Wow, good thing that bee caught that knife."
Huh, get it?
Like-
I get it, Mason. I see what's going on there.
What?
Bee-eye.
It's
Yeah,
the bee eye, like a beehive where she keeps all the
Yeah.
bees. I see.
Yeah.
Clever.
Oh. About to Persona 3 myself.
Crazy.
That's
can't-
Persona 3,
you
right? I got
can't-
that right?
You
Yes,
can't
that's
do,
Persona
you
3.
can't
That's
do
cool.
you can't do that to Michael. He's vulnerable right now.
Again, maybe my emotional vulnerability comes from Persona 3 moments occurring this week. Who
Yeah.
could say?
Yeah.
You're getting the good meaty bits
Well, if we
right
want to
now.
move on, John, it's Witch Watch time.
Is it already Witch Watch time?
It
Holy
is.
shit.
Hmm?
It is your first pick show.
Wow. Wow. Wait, hang on. Sorry, I actually moved stuff around in my order. So, Witch Watch this week is Nico is in a panic because Mio or Morihito, he's becoming very popular. He's very handsome. He's very athletic, very talented, very stoic, very attractive to the females. And so she's like, "Damn, I need to compete with this new attention he's getting." To which our two idiots come up with a brilliant idea, because Kanchi, just absolute genius, like, "I got it," because they see an ad on the TV and goes, "What if we just set up a scenario where you have the wind blowing your hair and you just look beautiful and he can't resist?" And so they set this up, and somehow it works. And the plan actually works. Like, she's got the hair blowing, and it's very mystique. And he just goes, "Why is there suddenly a gust of wind in front of her? This makes no sense. I'm suspicious." To which she's like, "We need more wind. We need more wind." And he's like, "Got you." And she's like, her hair's going like wildly. She looks fucking like demonic. The teacher shows up, goes, "What the fuck is happening?" Gets a little too close, and all the fucking female students' measurements get blown to the wind. She's like, "Oh no, it has the female students." To which Morihito definitely like grabs all the papers and goes, "Don't worry, I didn't even look at the papers." Which makes even
This is
more
a
girls
really
swoon over
good
him.
bit.
Which makes even
Yes!
more of the girls swoon over him. 'Cause really,
Exactly.
every single girl was looking at this courtyard, and it was awesome. So she's at lunch with her friends and kind of explains the situation, to which her one based friend gets very overly rambunctious about it and is like, "No, there's this tree on the field trip where if you eat lunch together, you will become romantically involved." Which becomes the new plan. Is like, we have to find a way for him to like be under the tree. But also Kaishi has a good moment where he's like, "No, it's not that he doesn't like pay attention to you or cares for you. He's always watching over you, and he obviously has some attachment to you, or he wouldn't be your familiar." But they basically go through the forest. They have like a chat while they're walking. They kind of like assume they want to do their own thing, basically. Which Morihito kind of falsely assumes. And you have this boy who, at the start of the episode, we see her like giving another girl this little wristband and like blessing it for like good fortune, hopefully, and like hopefully her proposal goes goes well to try to get with the boy, right? But one boy overhears that, and then about 76 boys are like, well, one of them's like, hey, can you meet me under this tree or whatever, right? And she overthinks it. But there's like 36 boys there behind him who are like, please bless us as well. We need double luck with the tree. To which she runs away by turning herself small and finds herself inside of Morihito's pocket as he gets asked out by a different girl who obviously he turns down, and she goes, do you love anybody? And he's like, I don't think so. But like, I do care for somebody, right? And she's like, well, that can be like love if you don't know what that is, And they have this moment where like it's right after Nico's dad leaves, I think is what happens. And like she like blew the house down basically. And so she's crying and Morihito comforts her and she's like, that's my moment when I fell in love with him. And then he also like references the same moment like subtly later as well. And then Kaishi, who's just watching from a tree, is like, my job here is done. As this random old man goes, hey, get out of that tree. And explains that no, it's not actually this big tree. It's actually this small little oak tree over there. You know who knows that? Me and my wife, because we spread that rumor. And who's sitting under the tree having their little lunch? Of course, Morihito and Nico, and it's very cute. This episode was good. It was very wholesome, very cute time. I don't know why this random guy got thrown in at the end of the episode, but it's kind of funny. Yeah, I love the bits in these episode. Sean, why is this number 1 for you though?
Oh my god. So okay, let's talk about it. I think this is
like, that's a big jump.
So this is like, okay, so one, Michael's gonna talk about this animation in the first part of the episode. I'm watching this, and I will say in my head I went, he looks a little weird. Like there was a thought. I'm like he does look a little. My brain was like they're making him look like more generic, more generic romance hot guy because all the girls are falling for him. Because I legitimately kind of feel like this show plays with its art a lot. Like a lot of the time, Nico will look at him and he'll be like shoujo drawn. So like yeah. I defaulted to that. I didn't like see it in a very negative light. This first bit rules. I like the way that the two of them are interacting. I don't think the jealousy is in a way that's too far. Like, Nico is a little immature sometimes about it. But she gets really pouty, and it's kind of funny. By far, one of the best parts of this episode for me is that it does good things with Kanji. He's around. He's a good wingman. He's a good friend. He has a good read on the situation. He's gladly willing to help and be there. And, like, he's just, like, he's the audience surrogate at the end of the episode to just be, like, observing something nice that he's gotten here for them.
My work here is done.
One thing that you forgot to bring up as well is we get the other boy that's in the in this episode.
Yes, we are
briefly get to meet him.
Yeah, Morihito talks to him and they connect over punk rock bands.
Oh, that was him?
Yes.
I didn't even know that. They connect over rock bands. Bro, I fucking love that. He's just like, I always thought you were like more of like a rock and roll guy. He's like, nah, I like my grunge rock too. And he's like, nice. And then like it cuts to like Nico.
Ridiculous way to introduce this character.
It cuts to Nico, and you see him in the background, just like crudely drawn, going nice.
Yeah,
like with a thumbs up as like Morihito's walking away. I remember that.
You get the bit where Morihito is like, she is helping him train. And Nico is helping him train in the courtyard where he is training his skills to better protect her, and he's trying not to rely on sight, so he grabs all the leaves, and then they tie that back into grabbing all the girls' pamphlets. But I think this episode is so well structured in how it handles, like, this episode could have been 3 gags, and they made it one central big story gag that worked really well. And then, you get to the core crux of the episode, which is trying to comprehend why he does not view her in a romantic way. And Kanji being like, he has dulled his senses because he has a responsibility he has to uphold. There's a really funny bit here where Kanji is like, well, like, he's here to be your bodyguard to protect you from danger, and so he has to view this as a responsibility, and how he wants to protect you is similar to love. And there's a moment where where Nico goes, "Protect me from what?" And he just glosses right over it. It's really funny. Where Kachi's like ignoring that. He's just like, again, back to your love affair.
Like, don't worry about it.
And that bit's good. But then you get Nico in his pocket, like just getting to engage in an interaction, and I fucking adore how this girl handles like all of it, because she essentially gets outright rejected, and she's like, I enjoy the, wow, you're really cool. And Nico's like, oh god, he just said that he doesn't find her attractive, that he doesn't even know her.
He's
Like that's
so blunt.
he's gonna break her fucking heart. And she's
I
like,
how the
God, it's
first thing
so
she does-
cool.
She goes like, hey Morihito, and he goes, who are you? It's like very clear that she's gonna ask him out by like her demeanor,
Yeah.
and he's just like,
I saw you
Who the fuck are
carry.
you?
I saw
I
you help an old woman across the street, and then he carries 3 more. I like the bits are so good this week. And then you just get them.
that's the thing, Sean. The bits have always been good.
I don't agree with
No,
that.
I will
argue.
The manga
like,
bit last week.
they're fucking.
think was
I liked
awful.
that one, but again, comedy is subjective. There will be things that do and do not work. And I just thought this episode hit it all out of the park. It legitimately got me emotional about the two of them, about like their childhood, about why she feels the way she does, and about the fact that they so clearly are so close to each other. We get real, like, actual character backstory and moments out of this cast, which is like the thing I've been fucking dying for out of this show. Essentially, I felt like this show before this was just skating by on looking pretty, a neat concept, and some gags that hit here and there. And it finally did what I wanted out of the rom-com portion of it, which was give me something concrete with these characters while still hitting the rest of your points really well. And so I legitimately walked away thinking this was probably a perfect fucking episode for this show. Like I have not given a show a 10 this season until now for this show. Like, because there's been enough, like, I haven't had that moment when watching where I've been like, yes, you've done it. Like, To Be Hero has been incredible in its first 4 episodes, and it got very fucking close, but there was always something, like, it didn't get the emotional beat out of me enough. Like, I was impressed as a viewer and a fan, but, like, I wasn't hooked as someone watching. This episode did that for me for Witch Watch. And so it gets the right to jump that fucking high. Is it gonna stay there? I don't think so. It's not very likely. Do I think it's the best show of the season all of a sudden? No. But I am at the point where I don't think there's any show right now to me that is standout leading the pack. I think everything has problems and has kind of on and offs that it needs to, like, nothing has solidified itself yet as you are my guarantee definitely gonna be there at the end. And I will be frank with you guys, I'm super open to hear you try to convince me to vote certain stuff this week, because I am kind of, I don't know what I want gone. I have an idea, but I don't know. If I'm being fair. Michael?
So I
I feel like you're fair, Sean.
so my thing with this show, I do think some of the bits this episode were good. I have never cared for the romance between the two of them,
That's fair.
and that's what this entire episode hinges on. And like, as much as I get like the visuals in the back half, like the way they visualize like the heart in front of her and stuff like that, I'm like that was really cool. And the way they do like are audibly hearing his heartbeat when she's remembering the one, like that was a really cool scene. I just don't care is the problem. This is probably the reason I dropped the manga, is that I don't care about any of the romance stuff between them, and I'm much more like this is a group of like 5 characters doing stupid shit, walking around town doing stupid shit with
Sean,
magic.
see, the real thing is this show isn't boring enough for him like Mono is.
Hey, we're
I
gonna
just
talk.
enjoy that cast.
We're gonna talk about Mono this.
Mono's great
Look,
this
I
week.
want you to know that I don't like where I have Mono on my power ranking, because I legitimately am enjoying that show more and more every week, and we will talk about it. I get that, Michael. I can definitely see that. You and I are probably opposite sides of the coin when it comes to this particular show, where
But-
I
no,
like
yeah,
the
that's
one
fair.
side and you like
Exactly.
the other one more. This episode also, to me, highlights, this episode makes last week's episode even worse, because I go, why did we introduce her if she is not at all present
Right?
Like
That's
this,
fine. She'll pop up eventually.
I'm sure she needs time to decompress after all the pets.
Yeah.
I understand. It's difficult, but
I've been
I
there.
have to think of another way to introduce her into a bit.
yeah. Because she doesn't go to their school, and this is a school trip, like a school
Yeah.
event-based episode, so it makes sense.
Yeah, I do love that. I forgot that's how they introduce this other character. It's quite literally
It's
Morihito
really
just
funny.
saying hi to him.
I think it's
Yeah.
cool.
I feel like
think it's
not
neat.
exactly like that in the manga, but like I also may just be again. I read the first 30 chapters of this
A long time
2
ago.
years ago. It goes 3 years ago.
I already have an idea of what he is based on the fact that he is joining the main group at some point. But like,
Well, I thought
I'm
that
still
I thought the cat girl was gonna be familiar, and I'm wrong. So you never know.
I have an idea. I think he's gonna be a Yukiona, but I don't know.
Well, he does kind of have that vibe, but
Yeah.
we'll see.
Those saying you those are the
The ice
snow people,
Yeah,
right?
snow people.
Ice Spirit.
Mason, do you have additional thoughts about Witch Watch?
I really enjoyed this episode. It didn't bump it like significantly for me, but it definitely did bump it up. I think this episode definitely felt more like a diamond in the rough for this show.
Yeah.
I'll say. Not to say that the rest of the show is bad, just that it's not holding up as much compared to a lot of the rest of our shows this season for me.
I don't
this
disagree
episode-
with that opinion.
Yeah, I think if we get more episodes like this, then yeah, I will agree.
Yeah. This makes me want to give. For me, Witch Watch was going into this week on the
Yeah.
chopping block as like you could really be gone this week. I
agree.
could kill both of John's shows in a row and feel no remorse. Like that was
Mhm.
how we walked in, and this week's episode made me go, I don't want you gone right now. I would rather have something else go and give you a chance to breathe. And that is where my difficulty comes this week, is that for me, a lot of the stuff I've really been liking, I thought had a little bit of off weeks. And a lot of the stuff that I was kind of down on, I thought had really, really good performances this week. So I've been put in an odd spot where I'm like, what do I get rid of? A thing that I think is building and really interesting right now, or a thing that has shown me is really good and might have just had a bad week? Which is part of the reason Mono is where it is in my power ranking, is that while we're about to talk about that show, it is that show. And that is one of those shows for me where, like, I can just send it off, and I will not feel bad about that. Because it is the type of show it is. But Michael, let's talk about Mono. Let's talk about the type of Mono we were given this week.
Yeah, but one small thing, Shauna, you missed a bold on the PR.
Did I?
John should also have Witch Watch bold. John should have Witch because he's the only person within the middle group.
Oh, you're
'Cause
probably
you're
right.
the only top.
Yes,
He's the only
you're
middle.
right.
Then me and Mason are both
Yep.
bottom.
Man.
I just wanted to look back to like check numbers that I happened. I was like, wait a second, that
Yeah.
feels wrong.
I don't know if that would
Right.
particularly matter, but
It's just that it makes it so you're not the
Yes,
only
one
person
with
with
a
a
bold.
bolt on this PR. Yeah, it doesn't matter that much.
Yeah, I was gonna say I don't think I count the bolts for anything actually.
No,
But I could. I
I-
can start.
We do it just like most of the time we do like make note of when bolds are. I just happen to notice that one. But yeah, anyway,
Thank
Mono.
you. I've already fixed it on
Um,
my end.
So, so this week to make sure I like didn't forget about, because like every time we do this, I forget like one of the segments that happened. In these episodes, so I gave myself little notes.
It's
for
okay.
each thing.
There's only two. There's only two.
I mean, yeah. I mean, again, that'll lead into it. So Umamusume's notes were "Sad Boy Hours wins race."
Yeah.
The ones for Mono are two word single sentence. Two single word sentences. That's the words. Just balls, curry.
Yeah.
That's it. Yeah. So first half.
God.
Apparently they are these weird statues. or
Yeah.
Not even statues, just things around where they live. Called like. They've like a 2-word like long name.
Don.
Whatever.
The short
was
one's
like-
like
it was-
Don Show, right, or something like that.
They were like Murasashi,
Doshi.
Sosojin or something.
Yeah.
Those G.
And it was like, I'm like, okay. Apparently what these are, they're just like weird spherical rocks.
Before we get into this,
So-
this episode opens with a phenomenal bit. This bit is so good, which is
So
Michael's favorite character explaining what these
Okay.
are in historical lore context and then adding bullshit in. They are save points for a
Yeah, they were
famous
save
Japanese
points for the-
warrior.
for the- yeah.
Fucking
Can we
got
also-
me.
one quick thing. I'll save it for after we actually talk about the episode. Never mind. Go
God.
ahead.
But yeah, so, yeah. There's these weird balls. They're just like around this section of pages. Weird spherical rocks. No one knows why they're there. No one knows why they were made. They're just like actually everywhere. One might even be in your backyard. This may be important later.
Do they say that in the episode? Do they
No.
open with? Okay.
No, that would be really funny if they did. There's a bit in this that made me really sad because I went and checked something from a previous episode because it pops up at this section. But yeah, so the first thing is like do another one of these little activities where they're going around, where they're like, we're gonna go around and take pictures. And this one is people made a AR app that upon taking a picture of one of these, it scans how round it is, and whoever scans the roundest ball, will win.
Okay, so this was the thing I was gonna say. Can we talk about how this is the most Japanese game show bullshit I've ever fucking heard in my
This
life?
is just the premise of Hakutaku, but actually maybe funnier.
Exactly.
It's actually maybe a good bit.
It's so good. Sorry.
A feasible
continue.
a feasible AR game as opposed to build shit out of fucking
Out of
commonplace
nothing.
items.
Hakutaku's not. Man, anyway, yeah. Yeah. So they're going around. They're taking pictures of different ones. So they're like, yeah, I've definitely seen like a ton of these, but they're like, but because I live here, I've never like made note of where any of them are. Then they go on Guru Maps, to go try to find some. They had a good bit where one of them was like, I could see one down an alley, but I can't click into it because that's not where the car went. I was like, yeah, yep, that's Google Maps. That's why the character says, yep, that's Google Maps. Guru Map. Throughout this whole thing, again, don't remember this character name. Her name's like On or something. I think that's like the nickname. She's like,
yeah, it's on.
I'm just kind of. She's like, I'm doing actually nothing right now. She's like, and I'm kind of bored. You got a cucumber? And they go, yeah. Why? She goes, don't worry about it. They go, oh no. She's like, you know how like cats are scared of cucumbers? I want to see what happens if we do it at the Taisho. So she puts it next to him. Taisho flips out and fucking breaks the cucumber in half, flipping a part of it at her, which causes her to Jimmy Neutron brain blast and remember that there was one of them outside one of the restaurants they visited back in episode 5 or 4.
4.
I don't 4. When and I in turn I went, okay, pause the episode. Okay, I gotta go fucking see. Sadly, they never show that specific part of the restaurant.
Yeah.
It's always like zoomed in on the door, and I was like, damn, that would have been fire if that was there in that section. But it's not, sadly. But anyway, we get back in and they're going around. They're taking picture of them. One of them they scan. They get like a 95% roundness or whatever. Then it goes, but that's also not one of these. And they go, what the fuck do you mean? It's like, oh no, it's the wrong Japanese character on it. It's like, what do you mean there are multiple kinds of these rocks around here?
It's a purity stone.
Yeah.
They're also in the middle of a burning hot day, and it's a prayer. It's a
Yeah.
prayer stone, and it goes, touch the prayer stone to pray, and the fucking
Then Haru goes,
yeah,
oh shit, yeah, I'll do that.
fucking playground metal slide, bitch, get burned.
And anyway, they're doing this, and they get one that's like a 95 or whatever by the end, and they're like, okay, it's whatever. And Haru gets home, and her grandma goes, hey, why didn't you scan the one in the backyard? And she goes, there's one in the backyard? What? Which we don't, and we kind of like get like we get like one of those like panned bits. You just see the house, and you like hear her take a picture in the back.
Mhm.
To which we see her get the reward the next day. And they go,
she gets
damn, how'd you get
second place.
a picture with 99% roundness? She was like, just kind of the goat. They're like, I wonder what the reward is.
Did you know?
It's
Did you
another one
know?
of these
You
fucking
knew
rocks.
what it was, right? I knew what it
Absolute-
was.
Oh,
I
yeah.
thought See, I thought it might be like a fridge because of how tall it was. I thought that would have been really dumb though, just to put a fridge.
I
Bring it,
saw
another
the
one of
I
goddamn
saw the
rocks.
box and I was like, it's a fucking stone.
Hey, they got another stone. Second half of the episode starts. Completely separate bit now.
Yes.
Completely forgetting about the first bit. She wants curry.
Curry Lord.
Damn.
She's a Food Wars character.
Yeah. Yeah, she's like back in my younger years, every Monday my mom or whatever would make me chicken curry. So now once a month I get a craving for chicken curry and I can't go on without getting more curry. So then she grabs her biker friend and on. So we don't have Sachat or Shikishima for this entire second segment. They're just at their part-time job for the whole day. As they go on what is quite literally 12 hours of driving in the car, it feels like, based off the times they give us on these maps. Where they're trying to find curry. They're like, oh, I know this like local spot's really good. Goes, it's closed. No, this one, it's like a little far out. It's like some Indian curry. They just like convince him, it's like, no, but like not with the rice. It's gonna be with bread. And they're like, I don't know, I kind of want a rice. She's like, nah, you don't get it. And they're like,
Nah.
bet. And they're like, yeah. It's like, okay, we're gonna go there, and it's closed for something. Can you maybe guess where the bit's going? They go to like 7 different places. One of them being a 2.5-hour drive up a mountain.
In a fully different prefecture.
Yeah. This, as they mentioned, is the highest this road is the highest elevation that is allowed for any actual like normal cars in the entirety of Japan. Cool fun fact, I guess. But yeah, they go to like keep going to different places. Every time they get there, they go to the hot springs place. They get this. Oh shit, there's curry. They're like, no, but like first we gotta go gotta go take a bath. They're fucking stupid. They get out of the bath and it's sold out. And they go to this other place and they're like, okay, we're gonna go there, gonna go get it. And they get there and there's a fucking maitake mushroom festival going on. So the restaurant isn't serving any curry because it takes too damn long to serve. Quoted from directly from the show, takes too damn long to make. So they just serve a mushroom dish.
Can't confirm.
Which leads to them just getting departments or like convenience store curry.
Well,
And
That's
then she misses her manga deadline.
yeah.
Yeah. Like some point in the middle of she's like, oh, I just did all my stuff. Time to go get some curry. I got all my things done. Like halfway through, her manager calls like, when are you gonna send in this thing? She goes, I sent in everything. And they go, you're missing this thing. She goes, fuck.
Oh no.
But I can't do it without my curry.
And she's like, but I can't do that shit without the curry. But then proceeds to then spend 5 hours driving to find curry. And then doesn't get the thing in on time because she spent too long finding curry.
I legitimately out loud at one point, because it says at the end of the episode, like at the end of this bit, it goes, Haru did not, in fact, meet her deadline. And I went, yeah, no shit. It's fucking nighttime by the time this bit ends.
My takeaway from Mono this week is I thought the first bit had a lot of really, really funny, like, mini comedy bits inside of it. I generally liked that part of the episode a lot. The curry bit I wasn't as big of a fan on, but generally overall for the show, what this episode let me tune in on for me is this show looks really fucking good. It's actively choosing not to always look that good, but it's always an option for it, and when it does really want to amp up its quality, it looks fucking incredible. There's like 1 or 2 shots of the girls in particular this week that are fucking stellar, like insane looking.
It does this thing where it decides to look kind of sloppy.
Yeah.
As it's normal, so that you appreciate the bits where it looks fucking incredible more. And it does some very unique things while looking sloppy that I really enjoy.
And the music's really good. Also the music's really good. So what I wind up walking away with, I really liked the first part of the episode. I got a lot of laughs out of it. It doesn't necessarily move the bar for this show, besides me going, I would be fine keeping this show around because I think it is good. I don't dislike it. However, again, I think John was the only one not in the room for it. A lot of our shows right now are in flux, where I'm not sure how I feel about them, and I kind of want to give them all more time, and if that means something has to go, I would want it to be this, because I'm not invested. Like I don't. This is a show I don't like. I'm not attached to. Like because I'm not like you don't have to be. Like it's just it could stop at any time and I'm fine with it. So it has that unfortunate thing working against it, where by the nature of what it is, like I don't have I can get rid of it and not feel bad, as a person, which is not good for it, unfortunately. I don't want to get rid of this show. It has no reason to go. But like,
But something has to go.
right now, are there
So.
other things to argue for? I'm sure. We'll talk about this.
We'll get there.
But those are my opinions this week.
No, I think it's pretty much similar. Like I said, for me, it's just like the show just doesn't. We've been over this. It just doesn't really click with me as much as other shows. Like Witch Watch, I'm enjoying more than the show for most of it. Because I like the rom-com element more than I like the people doing stupid people doing things. If that makes sense. Not to say they're like stupid people, but like just the group of village idiots goes on a tour trip, right? Because it feels pretty samey to me a lot of times, even though the bits change. But yeah, I mean it's a fine show, and like you said, like it does really look awesome at times when it wants to. It feels like, or when the budget allows, I guess, and more likely. But yeah, is that how it is for me, guys? Any other
I really enjoy the show. Like I think the comedy is just really funny in this show. I like how expressive the characters are, and I just enjoy the characters. I don't know. Also, like you said, John, show's really pretty.
Yeah, I just think this cast is so fucking silly. They're just a bunch of silly little guys doing silly little things, and I'm having I just turn this on and I go ha, fun, silly guys doing silly things. Before we move on, one small thing I want to mention about this show, because it does have a dub. The dub is because the way its episodes are like we're not as far behind on this show as we are on other ones, because this one's like a later in the month release or whatever. This dub is bad.
Oh yeah.
Most of it. Notably, I think it's on again. I don't remember her name, but it's
on.
the girl who's
it's on.
On's VA is really bad. She says all of her lines with the confidence of to quote Super Eye Patch Wolf. She says all the lines with the confidence of a kid who's asking for more peas 4 seconds after he just shit himself. It stands out because like Sachan and Shikishima, their VAs are great. They're doing such a wonderful job with their characters, and Ans is like stands out so much. It's like, haha, like her lines don't fit in the moment. They feel like they're being read in a studio. Haru's also sounds like that a bit, but hers is a little better. I went back and
Haru also, that makes sense, at least with her.
Yeah. It's just like Ans in particular felt really. I was like, what the fuck are these lines?
off?
Like every time she spoke, I was like, ugh. But yeah, I just wanted to mention that because I'm the guy who watches the dubs.
Yep.
You're our resident dub watcher.
Okay, time to talk about time to have a conversation about a show. Rocket's Lady's Modesty this week. We pick up with Lily going home to talk to her sister. And it's just like, I know nothing about a performance. I don't know where you were or any. Or there is no rock in Bossing Say. But if there is rock in Bossing Say, if it does show up, please tell me and give me the address of where the rock will be in Bossing Say. I would like to go see it, please. I love you dearly. Now, please give me the rock in Bossing Say. And then Lily goes to school. She is, once again being surrounded by all the other girls in appropriate, fashion, and they are walking down the courtyard, and there is the cat is stuck in a tree. Someone needs to get the cat down from a tree, and Lily goes, I can do that. I can get that cat down. Someone should help the cat. It is about to go fucking jump to get the cat, and she goes, that would not be ladylike to do. And she's correct, because instead, the prince has to show up. This is Tina. Tina has the world's fucking most incredible vertical I've ever seen. Holy shit. She fucking...
Oh, she's like, I could just like climb up the tree and like backflip off. No, that's not Lady Knife enough. As this one just comes in out of nowhere off screen, just
Tina fucking
through the air.
Tina just fucking sprints and vertical grabs the cat and brings it down. And we are introduced to the character trope that is the girl who is very princely in her mannerisms, and everybody views her like a guy because there are no guys in the school, so you must have one. Tina, as we know, saw the performance and so wants to talk to Lily about it. But Lily wants nothing to do with this because she does not want to be outed as a lesbian. I mean, as a rocker. And so she runs back inside. In homeroom, Lily gets Lily and one of her classmates are sorry, Mason. Lily and one of her classmates are yes. Lily and one of her classmates are pulled for like a tea time meeting with the student council. And they get recognized as representatives to join the student council. And Lily goes up and does a proper greeting to the president. And they share some words and there's conversation. And then Tina walks in late, and we find out she's the vice president, which also means that she's older. And she expresses that she was trying to find a girl who she wanted to apologize for, but she just can't find. Oh, look, it's the girl, it's Lily. She wanted to apologize to Lily. And they have a little bit of an awkward interaction, and Lily eventually gets to be free. We find out here that Tina is a daughter of a cosmetic brand and does a lot of modeling. All of which do not show what you would expect them to show of her, as we who have seen the ED know, and we who have gotten to the end of this episode also know. But Lily winds up coming back to the club room, and she goes, "God damn it, Odo, you fucking live like this? What's with all this fucking sheet music everywhere?" And she goes, "This is every song I know how to play ever." And Lily goes, "Cool, why the fuck is it on the ground?" And she goes, "That's actually a lot of music. I don't know how to play that much music." "Oh, I know this song. I'm not that good at this song. This song kind of kicks my ass on Guitar Hero." And they're like, we do need a new band member still. We kind of need our band members because the performance, they reflect on the orchestra performance. They both liked playing with other people, and they thought that it motivated them well. And so they want to find their bassist and their keyboardist. And then they get a hit on the app, a name that Oto seems to recognize, that just comments on the post for the symphonic band, about a gig that advertising like a gig to meet up at. And Oto just runs out. She leaves Lily to clean up all of her mess and just fucking books it out of there. So Lily decides she's gonna play some guitar. And Tina walks in, and Lily panics, and Tina explains that, she knows, but it's okay, she wants to join the band. And she explains that she doesn't have anything she's ever been, like, passionate about. She was raised by her family, she's never been confident in herself, she's kind of been expected to fit a particular mold and have done it. She's not actually outgoing, like, this persona is just the one that everyone kind of has seen her as, and so she's just pretended to be this prince-like character. But she wants to figure out how to be her own person, and she thinks music's the way to do it. So she asks Lily if she could join the band, and Lily goes, "Well, do you play an instrument?" And she goes, "Piano." And Lily goes, "Well, let's hear it." And then we cut away. In the meantime, Oto goes to just a spot. She goes to a gig, a bar of some kind, and we encounter Tamaki. Tamaki is a guitarist, and we find out is a guitarist who is familiar with Lily, with Oto. And we find out that she's the one that Oto gets the guitar pick from, that they used to play together. And essentially that Tamaki thinks that Oto is the only drummer worth ever being in a band with ever. In fact, they should just start a band now, the two of them, and everyone else is kind of dog shit, and she should just forget about him. But Oto goes, she goes, "The catch, however, I want you to join my band. If you join my band, though, you can't bring your guitarist with you. She's dog shit." And Oto goes, "Well, that's crazy. I actually think she's fucking a muse and incredible. So you're gonna have to deal with the fact that we disagree on this. And I will watch you play, however." We then find we then cut back to Lily. Tina's bad at the piano. We don't know how bad because we don't get to hear it, but according to Lily, she's dog shit. And so she's trying to figure out how to break it to Tina that she's not good, and Tina kind of already knows she's not good, but she still wants to join the band. And thankfully for her, well, sorry, I can't skip over this because we are gonna have to talk about it. Tina tried.
Ignore it and
See,
pretend
I forgot it was in this part. Tina leaves and Lily tries to catch her to like explain and not to make sure she doesn't rat and tell people that she's here playing rock music. And so they trip, and the article of her chest binding, the undershirt she has busts open and her tits are out. And Lily is on top of her with her with Tina's tits out as Oto and Tamaki come back in. Well, Tamaki comes in for the first time. And
After like 3 minutes.
This will be the first thing we talk about when we get out of this. So so Oto goes, hey, there's like a Battle of the Bands thing coming up. Tamaki's gonna play with us. You're a pianist? Great, you're gonna play with us. And Lily goes, she's not ready. And then we cut the episode. I'll be real with you. I didn't think it lasted that long. It did not feel like it particularly overstayed on the screen. And I'll be honest, I didn't think it was that big of a deal.
It kind of cut back and forward a lot.
It was a lot.
Like
it didn't like lock onto the screen with that for like an extended period of time, but it was like 10 seconds on, 10 seconds off, 10 seconds on, 10 seconds off, 10 seconons on, and then it did it for like 5 or 6 times.
Here's where I'm at with this, because I watched this. It happened. It didn't bother me. Here are the reasons why I don't think it bothered me. One, I knew it was coming because I knew part of her character was gonna be that she's a well-endowed character who does not show it, because just her general ladylike appearance is going to bind the chest. I thought the explanation, like I think the explanation of the clothing ripped because of sudden impact is fine. I legitimately here's the thing, right? I can't believe I'm saying this. I legitimately think she is designed this way to have a big chest for a legitimate reason for her character. That it is an actual struggle for her, and this is also part of her not getting to be the person she is physically, that she has to hide a large portion of herself. Do I think we need it? No. Do I think it matters? Not really to me. And I think they brush it off pretty quick. Again, I did not think it lasted that long to me when I was watching it. She gets back up, they rebind the shirt, and we move on. If it becomes a continuous gag of her tits constantly popping out, I will take issue with it.
So that's kind of the issue.
Mason, I want to say one thing.
Oh, God.
This bit starts because Elisa quite literally slips on a fucking banana peel. It is fucking ridiculous. This bit didn't need to exist here. Yes, it's not there for long, but the fact that it was there for more than 0 seconds is inherently a problem. You can present this in a way that isn't weird and inherently fan servicing. The amount of cleavage that is visible is a fucking problem for the fact that this isn't supposed to be. Sean, you could see actually 40% of her tits in the middle. It's ridiculous.
It's only the middle. It's only the middle, which is
it doesn't matter.
I think it does. I think it is a difference. I don't want to argue about this for too long because I cannot express how I really don't feel like this is a problem.
May I get my point out?
Yes.
Yeah.
So, for one, the issue is, once again, why are we showing teenagers' tits? It's never fine to me. It's weird. I get that there's a culture difference, but it's still fucking weird. And again, like Michael said, it's a bit that didn't need to happen in the first place. There are many different ways we could have handled this. This was not it. And especially after how good of an episode it had been up to that point.
Right.
And also, the issue that I have here is that we have had this character for essentially half an episode up to this point and then do this. This is the first interaction we've had with them, really. That does not set me up for high hopes here for how we're going to treat this character.
It's like, man, this character's pretty cool. They're the Prince character. They actually want to be more like, you know, a normal person and possibly more femme. And there it goes.
Yeah, exactly.
And realistically, it wasn't even like that big of a problem for me. It just certainly was a.
I mean, there were two really big
why
problems.
the fuck was it there? But like what?
I mean,
my
I can
biggest
tell
issue
you
with
why
episode-
it's there.
Because
Because
I know,
this is a
that's how they
this
wanted to
is
introduce this dumb.
this is a setting and this is a story like set like this all girls private academy. This is a common thing you get in these settings where you get like the horny teenagers, you get like the awkward interactions like this.
you get
like
the princely character.
I cannot like that separate thing because yes, but like I mean like as a this show has not been horny, right? Like it is an element to it. I think there is an argument that they are doing it because it's like it's the sex and rock and roll thing, right? Like they are pairing the two together because when you're looking at a counterculture thing, you are in a very like prim proper environment with a lot of girls who are very shoehorned into thinking and acting a particular way that you like. This is a topic that gets explored in these settings a lot because of what you are in. It is an all-girls academy, like that is often, we haven't seen a lot of it, but usually very religious. Like this is the kind of stuff that is constant taboo. And in my mind, this is like par for the course of like, you run through these motions to show that this stuff is fine. You're right. The framing of the situation, the trip, the fall, we could have done this in a different way for sure. I will 100% agree with you on that. In my mind, it's like, this is not as egregious as lots of things that we could have had.
It's definitely not as bad as it could have been, I will say, as well.
And like,
I agree.
and I think the show has slow dripped you exposure to like horny themes and ideas with Odo and Lily before this. Like, I don't think this is like, to me, this doesn't feel out of place. I get not, you cannot like, yes.
It didn't show it before, it just said it. Or it like alluded to it, but it didn't like actively show things a lot of the time.
Like I never had like that big of an issue with it when it was in the performances. Like I was like I was like, oh yeah, look, it's that thing happening. But I was like, yeah, that happened. But like I guess because it's in the performance, like it's like a visual metaphor for like something there at least. There's no metaphor here. It's just titty. I
think
I don't know.
The last thing I will say about this, I think what also makes this scene not as bad for me is that it isn't like it happens and Lily is like drooling and like fondling her. Like it's an awkward situation she's in. And they clean up and get out of it fine. Like it's not like Lily does not go Meg in this situation, right? That would make this worse and make it feel very fan servicey.
Lily doesn't go Meg.
That's a fair statement to give.
I understand it as I just the phrasing is so funny.
If Meg was in this situation,
No,
it
it's
would
fair.
be bad.
Awooga.
Yes.
Anyway, yeah, so to
Right.
pull the conversation away from this scene,
Yes.
so we can talk about other parts of the episode. I think the initial introduction to Tina is great. I think she's great there. I think she's great when she's talking to her in the like student council room.
Yes.
Wasn't a fan of the talking through the doll. Not exactly a thing I enjoy characters doing. I think the doll itself is a really cool idea. I think it's adorable that it's like super beat up.
Yeah.
I think that was fantastic. The fact
Well,
that they do it's like so like yeah, it's my favorite. I'm like yeah, it's beat up. She's had it for actually like 15 years. It's her thing.
I'm hoping there's nothing else with. I'm hoping there's nothing else with that.
Look, the other thing is, we know she's crazy. She's Danganronpa.
Look,
He's got a point.
what do you think about do you think she's bad at the piano?
Yes.
Or do you think
I don't think-
Lily's not a good judge of this? Like, do you think Lily gave her a bad song? Or she didn't pick the right song?
I think
I think-
it's that she's not good at playing solo, and that in a environment where she has a rhythm section with her, she'll be fine.
Because there's the thing with Lily is that when she's like saying something's bad when it isn't that bad, there's like it's like very specific the way her and Otaha interact. It's like
Yeah.
a very different style of her saying something's bad than here where she's like, "Ooh, that was not
Yeah.
good."
I'm
Like,
interested
this one
to
feels like she's like,
to
I was like, that
see.
was not good.
I'm interested to see what it is. To see how bad this is. I'm also curious as to why
Why Tamaki's here?
why Tamaki decided to go along
Yeah.
with this.
I think
Because the idea would be she's playing bass, which is not her main instrument.
I mean,
Yeah.
she said she was like playing rhythm for a band already, so
well, she was playing support. She was still playing guitar for them in that segment. She just was filling in a spot.
Like, I wonder if the deal here is Tamaki's like, if we do this and we bomb, you come to me. Which I imagine will be
probably.
the case.
So I do also think it might also be a thing where she's going to challenge Lilisa, because I minor spoiled myself about something while trying to search something up.
Michael.
It happens, dude. It happens.
So
Yeah, I know, I
I
don't
see
care.
she's
I was
practicing
joking.
she's practicing the guitar
been
piece
there.
earlier in the episode. You see the title on the top of the sheet music. I was like,
Yes.
I want to see if this is an actual song or actual piece of music. It's not. There is a song that exists by that name. Not at all the same song. Good song, not at all the same song. So then, like 5 videos down, see Rock is a Lady's Modesty, episode 7 insert song, name of song. I was like, oh, okay, it's gonna be the thing next episode. It was very funny. I'm like, maybe it's this song. Click on it, listen like a minute, I go, no, that's not the same song. But yeah. I'm at least interested. I'm just not
Sold.
in on these two new characters.
I like them. I think they're both interesting. I think they're very different from what we have, and I think that is helpful for
Fair.
the group.
I
I
think
obviously-
need to see what next episode does with them.
I need more of Tamaki to really get a good read on her and feel for her character. We really do not get enough of her this episode, to be fair about that. I really like Tina.
I agree. I like Tina so far.
She's
I just
fine,
don't like that
I
she's the-
guess.
She's the butt of the joke that is going to happen sometimes in this type of show. That is what it is for now. So, but don't do it again, show. We're watching you.
Got to keep abreast of it.
Mason, you can't just steal my fucking job like that. What is it? Fucking like.
Get better.
Fucking Mason, I don't have much. I need this one thing. This is my one thing. Like you can't do this to me, man.
Okay, let's go to Gundam. Because it's next. Not because I felt
So
like
Gundam.
that's not because I felt like we needed to do Gundam, but because it's next.
So, a couple of things happened this episode, none of
Yeah.
which is like actual Gundam. But it's all like still Gundam.
None of which is also the title of this week's episode.
Yeah.
What the
So,
fuck is going on?
So we're very much in the hey guys, just a reminder, this is a offshoot of original Gundam. So first off, we start off with Machu's mom. They have a parent-teacher conference, and they go to this. Turns out because Machu's been going to clan battle, she's been skipping out on cram school every night, and she gets into a fight with her mom because she hasn't picked a career goal. And she just kind of runs out and tells her mom, like, I don't want to deal with you. And also, we find out that after Nyan got out of the GQuuuuuuX, she was like, hey, look, like, that was great. I see why you, like, chased that Kira so much. Like, it's amazing. And Machi goes, shut up. I hate you. Shut up. No, shut up. Get out. Shut up.
Get out of my Gundam. That's my Kira.
And then Manchu like tries to go to the Pomeranians and walks in as she hears a conversation that she probably shouldn't, where Anki is telling one of the other guys that I genuinely do not remember if we ever got the name
I don't
of.
think we have.
I don't think so. Where she's telling him, hey, so we're gonna sell them out because turns out we followed Machu and we found where the Red Gundam is at. And Zeon really wants it, so we're gonna sell them out. We're gonna go get the red comet, and we're gonna go get that, and we're gonna sell that to the Zeon Empire, and we're gonna leave Machu and the GQuuuuuuX behind, and yeah, awesome. And after this, Machu like hides. Anki doesn't see her. She goes and talks to the other guy, who tells her, yeah, don't come back like after the next clan battle. Just like leave and don't come back. We don't want Jaeger anymore. After this, there's a point where Nyan meets up with the courier service guy that like hands her off her deliveries, and he takes her out for noodles and asks her what to get her daughter, or what to get for his daughter's birthday. It's a weird little scene where she just does not respond to him at all, because he's like, what should I get her for my birthday, or for her birthday? And he goes, don't say money. Anyways, what are you saving up your money for? And don't say dreams. And she just kind of looks at him. And then after this, we get a scene of Anki meeting up with Chalia to like set up this actual meeting, I believe, of like what's going to happen. And also, while all of this is going on, there's this talk of maybe Chalia is plotting the assassination of Kycilia, who leads the Federation, because she's coming for this like conference at Side 6, which is the colony that they're on. So we're all kind of setting up for next week's episode, it looks like, where a lot of things are going to happen.
Charlie's also backing the top date. So Charlie has basically set up for an ally of theirs to back and have bought out the top team in the clan battles, and is supplying them with pilots and Gundam and mechs.
Yes.
That is the other thing going on here.
It's certainly Gundam. Like, this week's episode is like fine.
Yeah.
And I can tell that things are going to be happening, and I like the direction we're going. It's just, this is a setup episode, so we haven't gotten a lot of like impactful stuff yet. There's not like a big thing happening yet. We're just setting up for it. I'm of the opinion I want to give this show another week to like see what it cooks, but I also understand the standpoint of, we've been letting it cook for a while, and it still hasn't really done a whole lot.
It's episode 6, my guy.
Yeah, what are we doing? You're muted, John.
You know how I love how we set up for like that big drama last week, where it's like, ooh, she's coming out of the mech, and they're gonna have this big discussion about it, and then they just kind of gloss over it, and like, we'll get to it. Don't worry, we'll come back to it. We promise.
And then they're middle schoolers about it, and they don't ever.
Yeah,
talk
Machu clearly doesn't want to talk about it.
We don't know yet. Who's even gonna be in the GQuuuuuuX next week?
To be fair, the only people who seem to even know that it wasn't Machu is Chalia and the head of the clan battle on their side. She knows too. She knows too. Well, because they didn't see her go in, and when she came out, Machu was wearing. She gave Machu the suit back, so Machu came back in wearing the suit. So they just assumed it was her. They're not good at Gundam battles.
I know.
They can't tell the difference. I think the problem for me is that the show's telling two stories, and they haven't intersected in a meaningful way yet, and I don't really... I want to care about both of them, but I don't care about either of them. Like, I think it's almost 3, because, like, you have every character's back, like, you have our main cast, the kids, you have, like, all of their background stuff going on, like, you have Machu and her family, which I am interested in, and would love to see that as the focus kind of at times, and we get drip fed it a lot. And then you have like the gang for the clan bats of like this dynamic between the girls and Shuji, and like
Sean, for a second, I didn't think you said the gang. I thought you said the gay, and I'm like,
yeah,
it is
the
Pride
gays.
Month. I'm like, it is Pride Month.
It is
so fair
Pride
enough,
Month.
but like
the gays. Like it's I'm interested in this interpersonal dynamic between Neon and Machu because Neon doesn't seem like she's intentionally trying to cause a rift. Like she genuinely seems like she wants to spend time with all of them. And whether or not she has any attraction to Shuji is not necessarily really clear. She just might be really socially awkward and does things weird in last week's episode. Machu very clearly likes where she is at with Shuji and feels like she is getting, like, this is dividing and interfering in her space where she feels... Like, the idea is that this is Machu's escape from not having a place that feels like home, is the clan battle and being in the Gundam feels like her special home. So, like, all of her behavior makes sense. And I would, again, love to be spending more time with this. But then we have like, the Gundam lore and, like, the potential assassinations and setting up this meeting. It is really odd that this episode is titled Assassination, and that concept is brought up once to one person who goes, hey, isn't it kind of weird that Charlie is still here even though he's not the biggest fan and used to work under the previous main enemy who would want the Empress dead? Kind of suspicious. And then we don't ever get any proof of this besides Charlotte coming down and murdering two guys in an alleyway with a rifle and a jetpack. What is Gundam?
I'll call my guys. They'll clean it up for me.
It'll be fine. I want to like this show. I want to be engaged with it, but it's just not. It's not firing anything for me. Yeah. And a lack of Gundam in this episode did not help.
Mm.
Yeah, it's just 6 episodes is a long time to wait for me to start caring.
Mm-hmm.
I am like, fair. There's like things like I do think like the Machu like outwardly saying I want to go swim in an ocean on Earth. I think that's a really neat thing. Though this show kind of goes, yeah, just so you know, Machu swims, and then like doesn't bring it up again after episode 1.
Yeah. Machi does a lot of things that seem like should be interesting elements to her character, but because we're not focusing on her school life, we don't really get to see it.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
yeah,
God.
I kind of agree. Like, I mean, Gundam is trying to do Gundam. It's not good at doing the Gundam things right now. Like, I need to do more of the Gundam things, because right now it's just kind of doing it's trying to do a bit of everything, and I don't think it's like benefiting it very much, if that makes sense.
No, yes. Yes.
Yeah.
So,
I also think...
Is it a problem of this show is like designed to be watched as watch the first 5 as a fucking movie and then move into episode 6?
Yeah.
Maybe. That's a weird way to build the show, in my opinion.
I agree. And that, like, because I think about that, I'm like, okay, if we had done it this way, this would be like your first... Like, it makes sense that this is building off of the past 5, because it would be. But for us, the whole show's been building, and it's just, it doesn't quite work.
It's just building, but it's building a tower to nowhere.
Yeah.
Unfortunately. Speaking of towers.
I mean, I guess?
I don't know, witches towers, I guess? I don't know. Listen, I'm not gonna pretend like it wasn't a stretch.
I appreciate you trying. Once Upon a Witch's Death. Ladies and gentlemen, it's incredible. I can't believe it. Meg has made progress.
It was so funny. I get this as I'm like, this is like the third show that's like directly addressed something someone made a comment about last week.
It's wild.
I will say though, it did in a way that made me upset, but we'll get to it.
Okay, before we run into the episode, I will say, very emotional roller coaster of an episode for me about me liking and about me disliking and liking and disliking and liking the episode.
Yep.
Yep.
Because, oh boy, there are a lot of things here. Let's get into this. So, Meg is vibing in her room because she has been on a fucking spree of
She's
getting
smurfing.
tears. Do any of you, do we get a number? I'm trying to,
It's like
Uh,
40 or 50.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So there are 50 tiers.
Yeah.
40 of them are pure
Thank you.
happiness. The other 10 are
Others.
various other types, but all still pure.
yeah.
Which
Mhm.
is a mystery tool that'll help us later. And,
Yeah.
Like quite literally exactly how Faust explains it. Yeah, I don't know. You might get a use out of them later, but they're not gonna be used for this shit.
Yeah.
Anyway.
But so Meg is like fucking gremlin mode over these tears, to the point where she has the worst laugh of all time. It's wonderful. In fact, to the point that Faust comes in and goes, "You have to stop," and she goes, "Stop what?" And she goes, "Laughing like a monster."
Maniacal laughter.
And she goes, "It's not that bad." She goes, "I have a written letter of
From
disapproval from the familiars." To which we get a really good
So
gag where Meg
funny.
goes, "Oh, a familiar can write?" And she turns to her owl and go, "I wonder which one's smart enough to do that, traitor." And then Faust explains, "Look, you have gotten a fair amount of tears." And we get the breakdown. And she goes, "This is a problem, and you need to not use magic right now." And Meg justifiably goes, "Why is this a problem? She kind of goes, "You do know I have a timetable, and if I don't get these, I will die. And, like, I was already behind, and this is pretty good progress. But you are my boss. You are literally my master. I will not use magic, I guess." And then we get to see Meg go out to breakfast, lunch with Fine. And they're talking about it. And Fina's like, "That seems like it's going well." And Meg's like, "Yeah, I just, I figured out the trick to it. I go around town, I look for people who need help, and I help them. Elderly who might really need help doing anything, really. People who look sad and depressed and might want to die, I go to those people. Mothers with children who might need a little bit of relief to, like, help them out. Pregnant women." Like, she lists off any vulnerable population physically possible she could have gone to do this, and she's like, "I just go there, I help them, I tell them some things, I get the tears. It works real well. The system's working." And Fide goes, "But, like, does that matter to you? Like, isn't it important to know that, like, shouldn't you have a connection to the tears you get?" And Meg stops and goes, "Does it? Should I,
No.
like, does it matter if I have if I personally feel like, and I know the story of all of these tears, like, you do know that it takes me, like, I would have to be getting hundreds of tears a day, and for me to care and matter about all of those is kind of a tall ask." She doesn't say all of this, because Meg's not this smart, but she gets to this root of the point, is kind of her argument. And Fina's contradiction, or, her combat here to her is, "But it was important when you helped me, and that mattered to me, that, like, the tear was important and full of meaning. And it feels wrong that you're talking about them like they're, like, a thing you just get, and that there's, like, a trick or a trade to it. 5 tricks your doctor doesn't want you to know about how to get tears of joy to prevent your imminent demise." And Fina's like, "But, I'm not gonna tell you to stop because this keeps you alive. Like, that's good. But, like, think about it. And I'm sure Faust has a reason for you not to use magic, because she wouldn't just tell you not to use magic. That would be weird of her. Like, she also cares about you. I have to go meet with a friend." And Meg goes, "A friend?" And she goes, "From school." And she goes, "I don't know any of your friends from school. I don't believe you. Is it a boyfriend?" She goes, "No. We're gay, Meg. It's Pride Month," and walks away.
You're my wife. Anyway.
It is, we then kind of run through Meg. I think maybe even before this, she might walk with Fine to the place, and they might have a couple of encounters with people who clearly recognize and say hi to Meg, and she doesn't know who the fuck they are. Which, argument, did she ever know who the fuck was saying hi to her on a day-to-day basis?
Right.
But more so,
Yeah.
people are, like, directly addressing her. And I think even from this point, they are addressing her as the Witch of Lapis. Which, if you
Yes.
are paying
I love
attention,
this bit.
yes,
It's
so good.
this is great. Us paying attention to the past 2 episodes go, they said a thing, that's important. Meg, being Meg, hasn't realized this yet and is going on her way. So Meg doesn't remember any of these people necessarily, and she does get to a point where she's walking and she sees a bench by Riverside, and she's like, there was a guy here who I did help. I don't remember what I said to him, but I do remember who he was, and that essentially he's living the dream of being a college grad who has his degree, gets right into the job force, and fucking hates his life. Crazy! Who could have seen it coming? Sometimes you forget this is not a fantasy world, it's real life with witches. And we find out that Meg helped him, just sat there, talked to him, and got a tear out of it. But she doesn't remember what she could have possibly have said to him.
Something very profound.
Yeah, probably profound knowing her. She says she says fully believing it, and then later not believing it. Really good bit. And then eventually she runs into a lot of people who she has this issue with, and then she runs into a woman with a baby who we see earlier when she's talking about taking advantage of women with babies to get them to cry, to get their tears. And they say hi to her, and Meg's like, I don't...
Kino, not the babies. The woman crying.
Yes.
Difference. Babies crying, useless.
Yes,
Women crying,
terrible.
Pog.
But so Meg's like, I don't know who this woman is. She knows who I am. But I need to get through this conversation. Flowchart time. And so she starts throwing...
Quick time event.
She starts throwing shit to the wall, and the lady's like, what are you talking about? She goes, and she makes up some dumb bullshit excuse to pivot topic, and then eventually she finds out that she helped this woman... she helped fix this woman's watch. And I go, oh, we're doing this again? And then the show goes, because we did this before, this is important. I went, okay, fine. You're using this in a neat way, because she recalls, it's a parallel, because she does not remember helping this lady and the meaning of this watch. But she does remember the one for Fine, and it mattered, and it was important.
We're doing great in this season for quotes.
We're doing what? There are so many we could pull from this season, I'm sure.
I know.
But we get to the
point. That's what you quoted out of that.
We get to the.
That's the funny part.
We get to the point where Meg is very clearly upset because she's trying to figure out what's going on, what's wrong, why she feels the way she does about this interaction. And the woman's like, "Can I help you?" And she's like, "No, actually, you can't." And she's like, "But what if you could?" Okay, here's a hypothetical. Is it wrong to help people if you have ulterior motives? Like, is it wrong to seek out people who need help in, like, a systematic format because it benefits you to help them? And she goes, well, are the people getting helped? And do they generally appreciate that you help them? And Meg goes, that's a good question. Maybe? And she goes, then I don't think it's a problem. You genuinely helped me, and it mattered to me. By the way, nice to meet you. Your name's Meg, and this is my name. We never introduced each other. Meg goes, oh, thank fucking God. I can finally get out of this. And so Meg walks away and is starting to think about this. And she sees an old lady with a bag at some stairs. And she walks by her and she goes, if I help that old lady, you know, she's old, she can't really get up those stairs. She might see a youthful person giving her a hand and be like, what a great gal, and cry tears of joy. But actually, it probably wouldn't get me an actual tear of joy. It would just be a nice thing to do. Ah, shit, it would be a nice thing to... I'll go help her. And she goes to carry this woman up the stairs and has a rough time. She flat out goes, damn, you're heavy, bitch, to an old woman.
To which the... like, stop helping me.
And Meg's like, no, I will get you up there. And Meg gets her up there.
I'm fucking committed now.
She gets a nice view of the town. And it's just a nice, good moment for Meg. And then Meg encounters the guy who she helped on the bench, and he explains what she did, calls the Witch of Lapis, and Meg goes, "Wait a minute. Thank you for telling me things I've done. Is this bread for me and my master? My master loves this fucking bread." And then Faust shows up, and she goes, "Have you learned anything?" And Meg goes, "I think so." And then they talk about the fact that she now has a title as the Witch of Lapis, and that's cool. And we come to an understanding here that the problem is not that Meg has gotten 50 tiers in 45 tiers in under 5 days or whatever. It's that she's no longer caring about the process, and she's also no longer, like, recognizing that she is making people happy, and that's a good thing. She's just going through the motions. This is a complicated episode that I wound up really liking by the end of it.
Yeah.
Because, like, there are a lot of moments where I'm like, but bitch, she's gonna die.
That's the thing. It's like
that's kind of the main overarching thing of this whole episode. Where you're like, but she like kind of like she's kind of on a timeline here, guys. Like that's what I'm willing to kind of give her a pass on this one. I think she's
And-
kind of in the right here.
And I do think there is an argument of like, you can't get emotionally attached to every person you help, and like
Yeah.
feel the
Damn,
sent.
if only someone worked in a field where they have to like serve the public every single day who are in medically necessary and vulnerable positions.
Thank you, John. I do
And
great.
sometimes
I do
die.
great work at Walmart, and it's very important these people get their
Exactly,
groceries.
Sean, and you're
Thank you,
right there on
John.
the. Sean, thank you for being a frontline worker. I mean, truly.
Thank you, John. I appreciate that as a retail store manager for Wild Bill's Tobacco.
Not a sponsor, but we do love them.
Not a sponsor.
But don't smoke. Smoking bad.
Don't smoke.
Hi,
Don't
nurse
smoke.
here. PSA: don't smoke. Smoke bad. Anyways,
John, you remember every person you help, right? And you
absolutely.
and you
I
care
connect with
about-
them very deeply.
you care
Like,
about them, and it was meaningful that you helped them every
like those
moment
patients
of
I
your day.
had last night. Like
The thing you aren't allowed to tell
I
us legally.
I think one of their names was Jim. I think I don't remember.
From the Big Bang Theory?
Sure, but no. In reality, it's like it's almost like I'm on the side of like you really can't get too attached to this because like you should be doing things not to like grow attached to people, but just because like it's the right thing to do is kind of the idea. But like at the same time, the show's like, no, you need to have a goal to do these things and a reason to do them. And if you don't, you better find one or be really, really connected to them, or else it's pointless. And it's like, no, like you can help people and not like dig into like what troubles you, young child. Like,
But what
so it's like to me, it's like it feels a lot of like forced gratification, I guess, out of this.
What
Which,
I-
like, I don't know. It's like being appreciated is one thing, but being like lauded over because of doing generic good deeds doesn't like sit great, if that makes sense, right?
Yeah.
It's like she's just being a decent person, and like yes, it's nice that they recognize her and like they give her like this title. She's a big deal for her. That's fine, but I feel like it's like it feels almost like a forced like, see, you're doing a great job, when it's like, yeah, we know she was doing good even when she wasn't like locked in the whole time. Like she can help people without having to do it for like, I don't want to say reward, but like without like something hanging over her head, because she was doing this anyways before she found out she was
Yes.
gonna die.
What
Right?
what I like though structurally is that you have, I think the show does a really good job of, you have the people pushing back against her for doing this and starting to view it like a system and not valuing what she is doing. And then you have her who has a very realistic like, okay, but I need to do this. I need to do this at a certain a certain rate, and I
Yeah.
can't spend all this time
And
like
she's not
caring.
doing it maliciously.
And then you
Yeah.
have, and then the most important thing about it is you have the people she is helping who do not know her motives and appreciate what she does anyway
Yeah.
without it. And that's the most important part, I think, is that we see as the viewer and she sees that the people she is helping values what she is doing, the help that they get, and
Without knowing that there's a
yes, and like in return, like care deeply about the help they get, and they will remember it. I think it does a good job balancing as like a, she doesn't have to emotionally connect on a deep level with all of these people because they might emotionally connect with her, and that is what will matter. What she does need to do is recognize that the task she is doing is still a meaningful one, and one that shouldn't be treated like a pickup game of basketball, where you're like, I could play basketball with those people. Could be fun. Like, that's not what you're doing. Like, you're not just
Could be fun.
you should not target vulnerable minorities to make sure you don't die. Like,
Just so you can ball out.
hot take, your life may be at stake, but maybe don't manipulate people's emotions and feelings. And I don't think the implication was that she was, but the worry that she might start to was Faust going, I see this starting to go
Let me
bad.
reel this back in a
Yeah.
little bit, yeah.
And I think that's the lesson, and I think this episode was well done in how it gets you there. Even if you, in a way, I think you feel as complicated about the situation as Meg does. And I think that's really cool.
I think the scene that really hammers us home is the thing at the end with the old lady, where as she's walking by, her first thought isn't, I need to help her, it's, oh, but I won't get a tear out of this. And then she goes, wait, that's fucking stupid. Why is that the first thing on my mind?
Because
That's like where she internally hits the,
yeah.
oh, that's the problem. I also love how I love it. She's carrying her up. She goes, magic would be really fucking helpful right now. No one's around to see it. She's like, no, I can't. I'm a person who sticks to my word. And I'm like, yes, Meg. Character arc, let's go.
Meg.
Mm,
Development.
Good job, Meg.
Fire.
Well, because the idea is that Meg has always been this, right? She has always been a person who has just helped people, right? And perhaps the implication, the difference between, like, the people before, where they were people who knew her because she was sent on tasks by Faust to go help them,
Faust is Faust's
right?
apprentice.
So, but now she is going out on her own and doing it, which is why she's finally getting the recognition and the name for it. And that's the difference here in the parallel in that. I think it's really cool to do the her getting the title thing after the Sophie stuff, because it matters more now that we know about it, and it's cool to build off it in that way.
Like, that's not to discredit like what Meg's doing. Like, it is,
Yeah.
helping people is good. It is rewarding in its own aspect. Like, I think my career is a rewarding one at times. It's very frustrating at other times. That's a whole nother reason.
Oh,
But like,
sorry.
but like, what
I just remembered that we got stingered at the end of this episode.
did we?
Meg is being yeah. There is, I believe it's a post-credit sequence where
Oh, I
Meg
didn't
is
see that.
Meg is being watched through a crow by a witch.
Oh.
See, I watched like
Oh.
most of this ED. It's just not a show I normally check for a post credit.
I think
Yeah,
it's
same.
post-credit because I don't think it happens before the.
I don't remember this
song roll.
happening.
No, it
Absolutely
doesn't.
post
It's probably post credits. Yeah.
Yeah, no, because I remember it shifting like
There
pretty,
is a-
pretty,
there is a-
like they're
yeah.
walking back, and I hear like the ED sound. I'm like, hell yeah.
Yeah,
ED,
there is a witch in
good-ass
full. There's a
ED.
witch in full black who is watching her. I think through a bird. She might just be watching her through like magic, and she essentially goes, "So that is Meg Raspberry," which I assume is her stinger for next week.
Okay.
Michael
Fair
can
enough.
reconfirm.
Yeah, no, yeah. This is absolutely this is post credit. Yes.
Yeah.
There's a 20-second post credit scene.
The more you know.
Yeah,
Yeah,
so-
it is quite literally. You see a bird is looking at Meg, and it just goes. So that's Meg Raspberry. That's it.
And you see this like a
Yeah.
kind of darkened silhouette in the shadows of a witch. Maybe she's
Yeah.
the one who put the curse on Meg. Maybe, I don't know. Who fucking knows? I thought
We
this
shall see. We shall see.
this
See.
and here's what I will say, because we're going into a show that this concept matters for. Last week I had said that Once Upon a Witch's Death, like, I really enjoyed it, but I was worried we were going to walk back things and not
Yeah.
take advantage of the stuff with Sophie and kind of forget any of the character work we did. And it was nice it was nice for them to go, no, we haven't done that, and in fact we're going to address a potential flaw that has developed from it to push more character growth through. I thought this show stuck the landing on pushing forward and proving my worries wrong. I have worries this week about 2B Hero X, and I'm hoping it'll do the same thing next week where it will prove me wrong, which is why I have the show lower than I would like to. Mason?
Yeah, so this week's episode starts off where we are in the hospital after everything has happened. And Young Chen is getting these like flashes of numbness. And we find out that it's because Shang Chao shared the clip that someone took of him fighting these kidnappers of Pomelo. And it got shared on the internet and went viral. So he's getting a ton of fans. And he's becoming the new Esol, which is a problem because Esol still exists. And we get to see him for a little bit.
He's fucking
He's
jacked.
He's fucking jacked. He's missing an arm and he never takes the helmet off.
Based.
He is very based. Also, he hasn't fought crime in like 10 years, apparently. Because we're on the 30-year anniversary of Esol and they're selling action figures for it. And at the conference for it, the only thing people can ask about is the new Esol. Because within like a day of this this video going viral, 1% of the original Easel's fans have moved over to the new Easel. So there's this whole thing.
Which is a lot
yeah,
of people.
That's a lot of people, especially
Yeah.
for a hero that's been around for 30
Who's
years.
in the,
That's
I think
huge.
he's like, isn't he like borderline top 10 at this time too?
He's still in the top 10. I think he's number 8.
So it's like, that's a gigantic amount of people.
Yes. So while this is happening, turns out Young Chen can like focus his he gets electricity powers and also kind of speed powers. Shang Chao helps him out and they end up getting like base. Shang Chao gets him a new suit, like all these gadgets, and is really helping him out. While this is happening, we find out that Xia Jing has known the whole time that Yang Chen was Easel, and was just letting him go on with this because she just liked him, like she liked what he was doing. Also, she tells him that Shang Chao has asked her out, and she hasn't responded yet. She doesn't know what she's gonna say. And then Easel sues Yang Chen for like fraud and stealing his identity.
Or whatever, yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
stealing his identity.
First, somebody tries to frame him
Yeah,
as
so
having
first-
set up the kidnapping.
Yes. So they first try to frame him as setting up the kidnapping, because there's a video of him meeting with them initially, which is the point where they grabbed him by the hair and almost and started beating him up a little bit before leaving him
Yeah, because he
the
took
first time.
because he took over the delivery job from them.
This ends up getting disproven by
The
forget his name.
Enlightener.
The Enlightener.
It's Enlightened.
Which
What a good
The
guy.
Might
Enlightened.
be the Enlightened.
Yes.
Yeah, the Enlightened.
Yeah, like I don't
So-
think inner for some isn't there.
which
What a nice
proves
hero.
we are earlier on in the timeline.
And there's a second thing that also
There's a
proves
second,
that. Yeah.
yes, because after this, after it gets disproven that he is that he had anything to
Yeah.
do with this, he walks out of City Hall, and we see that the Firm Man statue is still standing. So
still
we are
erect and
still
firm.
pretty early on. And it's this whole crowd of people cheering for him, like saying, "Yeah, we knew you didn't do it. It's all right. Like, we're all here for you, man. Good job." And then they are getting back to celebrate. They are running back to the warehouse, and Shang Chao is like messing around, has the helmet on, and one of the guys that was part of the kidnapping, as he opens the door, shoots him in the face. That's how we end this episode. Is Yang Chen sees it, can't get there in time, and Shang Chao dies in his arms. That's where we're at.
Hey, he might live. You never know.
Spider-Man.
Oh no, Uncle Ben.
I think this is not gonna go well for our boy.
Oh, what? You think it might set him down a
What?
path which will
Oh.
end with him killing Moon on a deserted island
We
for no
don't know.
reason?
Hey, we can't confirm nor deny
We
that
can't-
happened yet.
We can't confirm which Easel it is yet.
We can't technically.
I will say there are lots of things I do like in this episode, and there are things that I don't. I'd rather other people talk first.
Yeah, I don't like Static Shock. He's lame. Got him.
Don't
What? No.
don't do that to my boy Static Shock. He's
I
rad
mean,
as
Static Shock,
fuck.
Static Shock was sick.
Yes.
Great, go to show as a kid.
This
um,
man, however,
He's got some issues that he's working through.
is he working through them?
He's got some issues he should work through. My apologies, Sean. What do you guys think of New Easel?
He is
all
my
the-
biggest problem with this arc, is that I again do not think he is a compelling enough character for these 2 episodes for me to really be engaged with this. Shoutouts to her, she's rad. Really,
Yeah.
really fucking hit him with the, I would love to stay by here and support you. But if you don't support yourself, I'm not waiting. So
Mhm.
like, there you go. Hey, buddy.
She also hits him with the one where it's like, sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, no. Well, I was gonna say like, hey, buddy. This is her telling you she doesn't want to date the guy, but she will go date the guy if you don't make changes to make yourself not be where you are in your life. And I get it. He has a lot of problems that are weighing him down. It's it's hard. Like, I don't want to be rude to this character because like I understand it. And it's very the problem is none of the themes he is going through are new. None of the concepts he's struggling with are new. Like, this is another issue of identity, of feeling like you fit in or don't fit in, of feeling like you can or cannot be a hero. Like, we've done all this, right? So I would like something more from him.
I will say it's a little different than previous.
Yes.
Right. Like, a lot of like the setup, a lot of like the character dynamics are a lot different. The vibes just feel a lot more like, I don't want to say like dystopian is not the right word, but it's like it just feels off. Like, all the vibes just feel off about everything surrounding him.
I think it's because we're seeing more of the behind the scenes actively. So like, you are seeing the other eSouls team actively trying to engage,
Influence.
I even argue. Sorry, I'm gonna be really bad with who's his guy who gets shot.
Shang Chao.
Yeah, I think you see a lot of him doing like the media stuff. It's very grassroots, which makes it feel. There is something about him that does feel off consistently, even though he's like.
It's like he's looking for a reason for the world to hate him at all times.
To me, it feels like
if that makes sense.
this feels like I want you to be famous so I can be the guy who made you famous kind of thing.
Yeah.
Like, nothing he ever does ever feels genuine.
Mhm.
And like,
Mhm.
it makes me distrust him dying, but that's a really hard thing to do because he got shot through the fucking skull.
Yeah.
The helmet's good, but it's not that good.
You never know.
Look, it's a superhero show. We can bring people back from the dead. They do that shit all the time.
Yeah.
But,
I think
It's gonna be someone's powers.
Moon's died twice already.
Well,
complicated. Could argue she's died like 4 times if you want to get real technical. If we count the
depends what
if
the
we
mean-
count if we
depends
count the
what the
fake
man wants to tell you, Mason.
we count the fake ones.
Like,
I am interested in the old eSoul, new eSoul dynamic. It is different than the taking on the persona. It is a overtaking the persona. That is an interesting concept that I think is really cool. I do also think there are small things that are really interesting. Like, when they're doing like the promo for new eSoul, there's a couple of people, like there's the guy in the bar who's like, heroes in my day had to save people and had to like fight villains to become famous. This guy's doing it through popularity and media.
through PR and social media, yeah.
But also, he saved a kid's life. And your hero, who you've
That's
watched
kind of
work
exactly what you want
hard,
them to do, yeah.
has stopped fighting. So it's like, there is hypocrisy in that, and that is interesting. The pacing of these 2 episodes is fast. It's fast. I'm not sure how much I like it. Because it feels like I'm watching it feels like I'm watching the part of a movie where they have to speed through things to get you to the meat of it.
I
And
like
that's
it
what-
because of the fact that like we're clearly jumping between all the characters, right? 'Cause, like,
Yes.
we've all seen the previews looking at the next episode. We know that we have one more episode of this one left, and then it's jumping to a different character, right?
Yes.
And so it's like who we also have seen before, but that's a whole nother thing.
Yeah, Happy
But,
Cyan or whatever the fuck
yeah.
her name is.
Shh, Lucky Cyan. Hatsune Miku.
Yeah.
But I agree. It's very like rapid, but I'm fine with it being rapid because, like you said, it's a lot of stuff we've seen before. It's the hero's journey, right, and this and that.
My
and
problem
so
is I
it's
feel like
like-
it hurts him, and he's the person I feel like he would benefit the most from the time, and since we're moving through it, like, I feel like he is hurting, and it is hurting this for me. Now, this ending could stick it, and it could save it. It absolutely could, and that's why, like, I am hopeful for it for next week for me.
Yeah,
I
because
think that's fair.
yeah, because I like similarly, like I was in on Ling Li as a character
Yes.
from episode
Mm.
1. Like immediately, I was like, okay, I want this guy to win. And it feels like the thing is here, we're trying to like build up a cast. It's like, and then they're gonna fight, and you need to like pick your Oshi essentially.
Yeah.
Like who's going to
Yeah,
come
are you
out
like
of this?
new Isol?
And
Are
I
you
don't
old Isol
fucking
gang?
care about Isol at all.
Mm.
Especially,
I hate to not like Isol because it's like he is like the like quote unquote the antagonist. Even though it's not him, it's like his branding basically. You know.
again, no, it's like it's not that I don't like Isol like as the hero. I don't like Shang Chao as
Young- Young Chen.
Young Chen as a character. I just don't care as much as I cared about watching Ling Li get through his stuff.
Here's my real problem. He doesn't fucking talk. He if the character tried a little more a couple of other times, I can get behind still running into your walls from what you've been through that stop shoot. My problem is he never takes that step. We're
He kinda lets
slowly
people walk over him.
yeah, we're slowly getting there. Like he's almost ready to like he's starting to have conversation. But it's like I just want him and I think my problem is he has the support system there. Like you have the people who should matter now to him and he hasn't let it happen. And like my gut feeling is we're not supposed to like him because he's not going to be a good guy. Because this is going to set him on like the anti-hero kind of path. And that is part of what is going to build us to how he goes after Moon.
Or whatever the hell happened in that last episode.
Yeah. Like something bad is happening. Like this is clearly not the positive. None of these
Happy
have
end
been
story,
positive.
yeah.
Like, but you can argue at least for the nice side of things, he got a happy ending until it wasn't.
Yeah, he got to be the guy. His friends are like building his brand. He's becoming
Yeah.
like a hero, which is kind of what he wants.
He's about
but,
to
like,
go
not
get his
really
girl
what he wants,
back.
Mm.
but maybe.
Absolutely crazy, by the way, if the reason why he goes and kills Moon is because he winds up also losing his girl in this next episode along with it,
Yeah.
and his mindset is, well, you can't have nice things, so I'm gonna take her from you. That would be insane.
Nice.
Yeah,
Or
like,
something
it's,
that-
yeah, because they also have to build up why he has to go after ordinary guy and Moon.
Yeah. I think it's really interesting that this feels like it might be taking a pretty good amount of time before or Nice stuff because Nice isn't
Yeah.
everywhere. Like we haven't seen one mention of him, and that's crazy. Because until Enlighten comes in, and you see the statue, like you could have told me this was on a different continent, and I would have believed you.
I would have honestly loved to go back and see like do we see like Isol branding during the Nice era? Like, do we see like the new Isol branding while Nice is like
I felt
this
like
up-and-coming
we,
hero,
I
right?
felt
And so
like
it's like
we might have seen something.
I think we had heard mention of Isol before this. I think they mentioned him in like when they're talking about the top 10.
But it's
when they like rapid fire off a bunch of heroes.
obviously
whatever.
we've been getting Lucky Scion stuff a lot.
Yeah.
Because it's gonna be and you know, I appreciate this is gonna be a much clearer flow in tie to the next one. I do like that.
Yeah.
I'm gonna give this show next week, obviously, but if next week is not good, it's not gonna look good. It is rough to say that, like, if I dislike a whole arc of a show, that is rough. Even if it's a short arc.
Sure.
But, like, it is hard, like, it's hard to overwrite what you've already done. The show is incredible, it still looks really good. The action sequences are rad. Every use of the power here is crazy, it's cool. Like, conceptually, I love the idea of Isol and, like, what it does. And I like a lot of the themes, some of the other themes they're building, particularly about, like, the concept of wearing the mask. Yeah.
It's good stuff.
Yeah.
So it's just like, can we get a little bit more to like solidify this character and this arc as something that's like,
or give
something
me,
we should be interested in,
or give
right?
me justification for why we've been like this. Like, like make me not enjoying these last 2 episodes worth it by what you do with it in the
Mhm.
3rd one. Like there's a couple of ways out of this that I'm hopeful for. Have you guys seen or heard anything loosely about the next arc animation wise?
No,
No.
that's not a good sign though.
I won't say anything about. So here's what I'll say. Everything I've heard, I've not seen an official source about it, which makes me think that people are wrong. Here's the preface I will give you. I have heard that instead of what the show's been doing, going 3D, occasionally to 2D, it is almost entirely 2D for the Lucky Scion stuff.
Look, I'm honestly fine with that because
Yes!
the 2D also looks sick as fuck.
But a lot of people and a lot of like not official sites are running stuff are running stuff that says To Be Hero switches fully to 2D for the rest of the season. I have not seen confirmation that that'll be the case.
And if it does, who cares? It's been good so far.
Yeah, I also think it'd be really silly if they did that. It doesn't make sense.
Like, I could maybe see it if they switch to like the 2D style that they do in the opening.
I think this show has shown me that it does things for a reason. It very rarely chooses
I'm more than willing
to
to give
do.
it the benefit of the doubt. It's been
Yeah.
great so far.
And I'm excited, and
Yeah.
I'm personally fucking down to see an entire 2D arc.
That's more like you said, like
Yeah.
this arc is a little bit down, but like, who fucking cares? The first arc was so good
Yeah.
that it's like, okay, give it a
And
second to like to breathe, and we'll get back to the hype shit
Mhm.
next arc maybe.
And also, I don't think this arc is bad.
No,
I just don't think it's as good as
Yes,
the first
and
arc.
that is the problem.
I think part of that happens too is that like you have this first arc that is so good at what it did, and now it's like, okay, I'm a little disappointed in like, it not being at the same
Yeah.
level, but at the same time, it's like that level was really really high.
And what's
Like,
funny is part of me is like, I think I would like the ESOL stuff if I got it before the nice stuff, but the nice stuff is
It's like a
too good. It's
built-in.
the nice stuff is too good of the
To not start
opening
on,
for the show.
yeah.
You have to open with it. Like it's the
Yeah.
whole premise. Like he pitches the idea of To Be Hero. Like that's crazy.
Mhm.
I want to be a hero, and the opening like,
Because, like-
resonated
To be the
too.
hero.
Because like hear me out. I think if you
Which, yeah,
open this,
sick OP, by
I
the
think
way,
if
show.
you
we don't talk about
yeah.
it enough. Like the OP, and the ED especially, I love the fucking ED of this show
Yeah.
every time it comes on.
I think
Um,
like I think if you open the show with ESOL and like you stinger with him killing Moon, but you don't know why, and then you go into nice, that shit fucks with you because like
I don't think it hits as hard though, because I think like having like Moon as a character, having like this guy kill a random character doesn't mean anything to you if you don't know
but
why
I
that
but I
matters,
think it fucks
right?
with you. I think it would fuck with you an equal amount when you start
No,
going
for
through the
sure.
nice arc and you're like, when's he gonna do it? How does he do it? Like why how is she alive? Like imagine
Especially
you
because
know
the nice arc first episode of it
Yes.
ends with Moon dead in the room.
Yes.
Yeah.
So you get real fucked up
Exactly.
there, and then she leaves for the island, and you're like, oh my god, he's gonna kill her on the island, and then she gets captured by the Enlightened. Like it would be an entirely
kinda
different
builds,
brand
yeah, I
of
get
fucked. It would be an entirely different brand of fucked up, but you can't do it because the nice arc is too fucking good of an opener.
Yeah.
Fucking built different,
Ordinary
dude.
person.
ordinary person. Lindling.
I'm getting the voting for us.
Let's be real. If Dylan was still on the podcast, every single week would just be To Be Hero, save, everything else slay.
He's also not a fan of the ESOL arc.
That's fine though. He would still
Yeah.
like he picks his favorite. Justin, I miss Dylan. I miss Dylan and Painless. But then again, I'm retired from League, so I have no contact with a lot of people from that era.
need you all to read my name this week, just because I forgot to say it in the what I did this week.
Nice.
I don't read, Mason. I close that tab the second I finish submitting. I see previous responses. Thanks, Mason.
Because in our weekly meeting this week, and it was wonderful.
Bump on my knee. What the hell? Dude, getting old is like hitting a fucking like bumping something with like your like knee and being like, ooh, that kind of stung, and then like the next day it still hurts, and then the next day it still hurts, and you're like, I just like bumped a table, bro. Why did
Getting
my
old.
knee want to die?
Getting old is I slept slightly wrong one night and then could not feel okay for the next week.
Michael,
Bro.
fuck you.
Bro, sleeping wrong slightly one time just like benches you for like a month. And it's just like, this sucks.
That's so fire based.
I quonder. So shows that are completely safe this week: Cinderella
I
Grey,
wonder which one's Sean.
Vigilantes.
I also wonder.
Once
Number
upon-
one
Shows that are safe: Cinderella Grey, Vigilantes, Once Upon a Witch's Death, To Be Hero X. Show with one sleigh, Witch Watch. Shows with two sleighs, Mono and Rock is a Lady's Modesty. The show with all the sleighs, all of it entirely, the GQuuuuuuX. Ladies and gentlemen,
GQuuuuuuX got
Somewhere
you
Spoon
cooked.
shed a tear. As Gundam once again did not win the podcast.
it do be like that.
Look, I genuinely don't think it's possible for a Gundam show to win a podcast unless it is like an entirely new take on Gundam.
Do you think if we had been doing this podcast when IBO came out?
That's a maybe.
IBO is a different breed. It's different.
IBO is a
It's
different
bad.
breed because
I don't watch
IBO
IBO.
is really good. IBO is a very different take on
It has
Gundam.
a man with a mission opening, so
Yes,
by
I know.
default,
and
it
a blue
gets
and a blue end count opening.
I know it has a man with a mission opening because it comes up when we play AMQ, and I go, huh, I know that group. Why do I know that group?
Yeah, raise your flag.
because a mech show can succeed on this podcast. I do believe.
Yeah,
She's got
86 exists.
It's just gotta not be Darling in the Franxx.
86.
Yeah,
did well.
it has to be back era.
True, it did do so well. It did. I think it lasted longer
It
than
got to, like,
Gundam did.
fifth. It got to like fifth.
It lasted too long.
Back, I don't
Yeah.
know.
It
Look,
lasted
sometimes
just as long as it needed.
sometimes all you need in your
No.
mecha is a spaghetti western.
But anyways, that's it for this week, guys. Thanks for stopping in. It's been
Yeah.
fun. We'll figure out what we're doing the next couple weeks because my
Well,
schedule once again is the bane of our
You said
existence.
this week Sunday should be good, right?
I will be good
This
this
coming.
week. Yes, I will be dead inside, but like that's
Yeah.
okay.
We'll talk more. Have a good night, everybody.